Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars, should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Hello, once again. Thanks for tuning in. You know what it is. You're listening to World Combat Sports. Happy Monday and salute to each and every one of you. Big salute to the WCS supporters as always, man. The ones that tune into the channel and support your boy. That's what it's all about. Shout out to the ones who's jump starting their morning, going out to the workforce and getting it in, being healthy enough to sustain a sense of employment and go out here and make a living for yourself and your family. Man, boxing, listen, this weekend was one of those, this weekend of boxing was one of those moments where you bookmark it for all the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? Even though the scoring in some of these fights was what it was, we're going to get to that. But we had a Saturday fight and we had a Sunday fight in one of the hottest divisions in boxing right now, which is the lightweight division, contended at 135 pounds. It was all the questions that we wanted to be answered up to a point. You know what I'm saying? Up to a point. And we're going to get to that. But for those of you that's curious about the thumbnail, allow me to explain the thumbnail. First of all, from left to right, I look at it like this. The most exciting fight to me this weekend, hands down, was Javonte Davis, Isaac Cruz fight, period. Point blank, period. But my thumbnail is who's number one in the lightweight division. Teofimo Lopez, former undisputed champion. I believe if he chose to come back to the 135-pound division, a fight between him and Tank would be that much better now. Or a fight between him and Devin Haney would be that much better. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he still has Wall Street in the sport and his brand. But people ain't trying to hear that because he just lost to Cambosis. Devin Haney, he won the decision. Pretty much what we understood what was going to happen with Devin Haney. You know, he's a pure boxer. I do consider him at the top of the food chain as a boxer. But there's a dynamic that Bill and Devin's going to have to push through. They're going to have to find a way to find another type of handshake between him, Team Haney, and the boxing fans. They're going to have to figure it out because he's being booed, not because, you know, when it was Floyd Mayweather's time, he's walking to the ring and people booing him just for fun because they want to see him lose, but he's at the top of the heap. Team Haney has to find out why the fans are booing him as they are. What has he done? What do he need to do moving forward to gain that likability from the boxing fans? Because it's not there right now, people. It's not there for some reason. You know, people was cheering the shit out of Jojo when Devin's in his backyard. That's not the first time we've seen this happen, of course. But now we have two fighters that's actually in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? And we have a fighter like Devin Haney who has presence, has a large presence in that area. They're going to have to figure it out because for some reason, the fans aren't buying what Team Haney is bringing to the ring. That's all I'm saying. I'm not bashing Team Haney. I liked his performance once again. He did what he needed to do against Jojo Diaz. He did. Jojo couldn't keep up the pace. People in boxing, you need to understand one thing about this sport. It's all about how you start, and definitely it's about how you finish. It's both of those. It's both of them. You cannot sit up here and dispute one without the other. This is not a race where they say, oh, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. In boxing, it's how you start and it's how you finish. It's both of those in combination that makes all the sense. So when I look at who's number one in the lightweight division, it's clear to me. It's just clear to me who that name is. But before I say that, let's talk about Cambosis. Cambosis just won the titles and he haven't defended them. We can all be honest with one another and ask ourselves, can Cambosis get through Isaac Cruz? Can Cambosis beat Teofimo Lopez in a rematch? We're talking about nothing attached to it or nothing. No health problems, no nothing. All right. Can Cambosis defeat Devin Haney? Well, if that question ever was to rise in the conversation, people are just going to look at it like, well, he has the potential to outbox Cambosis. And that's true. He has the potential to outbox Cambosis. But can he stay safe over a 12-round period not to get caught with any hard punches? That's the big question with Devin Haney. But I do believe he can outbox Cambosis. Do I see Devin Haney stepping in the ring with Javonte Davis and outboxing him without getting caught with something? That's hard for me to sit up here and check the box with. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to check the box on that. But as a whole, it was a lot that we was able to witness this weekend that we appreciated. Even though the fighters exchanged, those fighters being Jojo Diaz and Devin Haney, even though they exchanged some punches back and forth, Devin Haney stayed in the pocket. Even though he was, somewhat touched sometimes, he was able to touch Jojo Diaz too. But of course, Jojo never looked bothered when the punches was landed. That's what made the fight interesting. Diaz wasn't able to keep up the pace. You have to credit Haney for being able to stay right there on the mark and continue to fight on the inside when he was hit with some hard blows. For real. I mean, we have to credit him for that. Same thing with Javonte Davis. Javonte Davis is a knockout artist. He went the distance only for the second time in his career against Isaac Cruz this weekend. He landed some hard punches on a fighter that rarely shows up. You know what I'm saying? Every so often, a fighter like Isaac Cruz shows up. What I mean by that, Isaac was a last-minute replacement, y'all. A last-minute replacement, even though he's in training camp. He was not training for Javonte Davis, but he's a last-minute replacement. A tough, grimy, durable, diesel type fighter. I like Isaac Cruz's style. You know what I'm saying? He definitely cleaned it up a little bit with his defense. I like his style, man. He give us everything that we look for in what Mike Tyson used to do back in the day. But the only thing that separate Isaac Cruz and Javonte Davis is Javonte is just 2 to 3 levels up from Isaac Cruz when it comes to boxing IQ. You know what I'm saying? His ring IQ is what matters. And also his experience in the ring complements that boxing IQ. Isaac Cruz, he was happy to be in the moment. And with his raw ability, his innate ability that Isaac Cruz, he was able to go in there and go 12 freaking rounds with Javonte, take some heavy shots, and keep on pushing. He's a solid one. Isaac Cruz is a solid one, dog. But as they say, I don't like using this all the time, but there's levels to everything you do in life. Isaac Cruz is not on that level yet. Because how you start out, how you sustain yourself and make those changes, collect that data inside the rounds as they continue to tick by. You have to have gears. You know what I'm saying? Those gears don't necessarily say, okay, well, it deals with speed. No, you have to have gears in how you make changes on your opponent to kind of put away more rounds. Hopefully, when you go to the scorecards, if you make it to the final bell, it's able to be close. People looking at the scorecards of Javonte Davis, and they truly act like they did when he was in there with Barrios. That's only because there was a lot of fighters in there. I mean, there's a lot of fans in attendance who was hoping to see Cruz defeat Javonte. That's how it always be, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why the brothers wear Mexican colors, because the Mexican fan base show up for their fighters. That's how it always be. That's how it will be. Let me get to these chats right quick. Andrew Charles on deck. Good morning. What's good with you? Super solid weekend. Haney got booed by fans for the same reason Cambosis is telling him to show him something. And it's called social media narratives. Yes, sir. That Tank Cruz fight could have gone 15 if Tank hand wasn't hurt. True words, man. We have to understand that there's certain fighters that can take punishment. You know, that's just the way they built. But if you have a smart boxer in front of them, you can still win the fight. Isak Cruz proves that he has a chin. He proves that he's tough. Isak proved all of that. But what he fell short is switching up. Being able to shift stances. Not orthodox to southpaw, but how you're going to approach the fight moving forward to get that victory. You have to have better ring IQ. You have to be able to physically be able to implement. If you have a secondary plan B and C, and you're able to shift stances in the fight, you got to be physically able to go do that shit. And it seems like Isak Cruz has one gear. Sometimes you just can't use that one gear all the time. Press, press, press. Press, press, press. Because what it does in the combat sport, it'll allow a fighter to understand that, okay, he's going to be right here. He's going to be in attendance the whole night right here. He's going to keep coming forward. So if you take a boxer, now you can turn them into a counterpuncher, and they can pretty much do what Javonte Davis did. Have success and Cruz coming forward the whole fight. That's almost like what Rocky Marciano did a lot. He used to take a beating. He used to take 3-4 punches to give his one. And what he have? He had a right hand named Susie Q. Rocky Marciano was praised for his toughness and retiring from the sport undefeated. But what they don't tell you, for those who don't dig deep enough in the sport, is that Rocky took some extensive punishment. He took a lot of punishment, dog. What about Barney Ross? Barney Ross attempted to defend his welterweight title against Henry Armstrong. He was blasted. He's never been stopped, though, but he was blasted in that fight. He took a beating. It's all good. It's not like Isak Cruz is one of those fighters that we never seen before. We've seen fighters like him. We've seen Mexican fighters like Isak Cruz come and go. How can Isak now switch it up? If all what he's going to give to somebody is forward pressure and hoping to land that shot, what happens when that fighter doesn't move? Just like Javonte Davis. Javonte found out he had hurt his hand in the fifth or sixth round. Even Isak Cruz said that. So you can't sit up here and say Javonte's giving excuses. He hurt his hand, and what he did, he switched stances. Oh, I got to approach this fight now. Isak Cruz is still coming forward with the pressure, and Javonte has to switch stances and find out another way to win. Isak Cruz co-signed. He said, "I can feel a difference in his left hand." So Javonte pretty much said it comes with the sport. So he had a hurt hand and he still was able to win. Why are people up here believing that the fight was closer because you're not expecting certain things like this to happen? Javonte Davis landed some hard ass shots on Cruz. He was blasting him. Cruz, I'm reading articles and they're saying Cruz was coming on strong to a laboring Javonte Davis. He was fighting smart, man. Like, this sport, even though Javante's a knockout artist, you can't sit up here and expect him to do what Isaac Cruz does, is come forward and make it a brawl. And that's his style. That's the way he fight. Javonte, he pretty much fought smart enough not to put himself in position. Because just because you have a fight that's coming forward, right, and he's going in there against a heavy hitter like Javonte, it doesn't mean Javonte can't get caught. Cruz was unleashing some bombs in there. That Tank Cruz fight could have gone 15. I look at it like this, though. It showed a lot once again about both fighters. I look at it as being fight of the weekend. Javonte picked up another win to his resume, and he proved that he's committed to stand at lightweight division. Javonte is, he made a mention that he's content with stand at the 135-pound division, which makes for a very interesting next chapter in 2022. That chapter being the current champion Cambosis with the belts. Who is he going to select? Because if Cambosis believe he can go in there and do better, because we're talking about two different boxer styles in Isaac Cruz and Cambosis. If he feel he can go in there and do better than Isaac Cruz, then he should pick Javonte, because he's going to make a pretty good penny with Javonte. It's going to be on PPV. Then he's still waiting for Lomachenko. He admitted to that, like I said before. Kambosos is waiting for Vasyl Lomachenko. And then, of course, you have Devin Haney with the final strap in the lightweight division. You would do process elimination and say what's easier to figure out. If you want to leave no confusion, the only confusion is the belt. The last remaining belt to Devin Haney. So if you're really about cleaning up confusion in Cambosis, that's why I left him off my thumbnail. He needs to figure out, is he going to fight to clear up the confusion for undisputed, or he's going to try to go pick up a check? The impression I'm getting from him is he's going to select where he can make the most money, because he's going to sit up there and watch Devin Haney get his hand raised in the final post fight. He watches him get his hand raised, but yet he's going to say it wasn't entertaining. To me, boxing wise, it was entertaining, but it didn't come close to the Isaac Cruz and Javonte Davis fight. I'm just being honest. It didn't. I mean, I even say the Javonte Davis and Mario Barrios fight was entertaining, just like the Leo Santa Cruz fight. It's not for a lack of effort when it comes to Haney. It's not. It's just, this boxing community to this day and time, they just seem to be more interested in who can inflict danger upon their opponent. Like, everybody show up to a fight because they believe one of those fighters can put that other one in a situation to potentially, knock them unconscious. Boxing has always been one of those sports. You can see a fighter knock out a off the couch fighter, a crackhead that was able to get a boxing license. You can come in there and see a fighter knock him out. He fold backwards on his feet. People say, "Oh shit!" You can see a fighter get knocked out who's been knocked out 5 times already, and see him get knocked out by somebody and it's plastered all over social media as if they did something special. That's just the way fucking boxing goes, shawty, for real. in this fight with Javonte Davis, people don't think any less of him. You know what I'm saying? People don't think any less of him because he went the distance for the second time in his career. You know what I'm saying? People don't think any less of him. They just feel that two people gets credit. Javonte gets credit for, adapting to his situation, a fracture, whatever, injured hand, and still being able to get the win. Cruz, his stock went up by being able to go the distance with Javonte Davis. The one thing about it, if Javonte wouldn't have hurt his hand, the fight would have been much larger of a gap than what it was. That's just like Floyd Mayweather when he fought Marcos Maidana the first time. He was up there like people saying, "Oh man, Marcos Maidana, he gave Floyd a good go. He was competitive in that fight." And then Floyd Mayweather said, "Hey, if they want a rematch, I give him a rematch." He knew all along that he didn't put forth enough effort. He knew what he wanted. He knew what the Argentinian fans and the Mexican fans was bringing support system for Dan Marcos Maidana. So it's almost like he fought the pace that he wanted to fight. And then he pretty much swept them easy in the rematch. The question was asked to Javonte Davis yesterday by Jim Gray. He said, "This warrants a rematch?" And Javonte said, "Hell no." And I agree. Because I think in the second fight, Javonte makes it look a lot easier than Cruz. Than the first one with Cruz. I'm just being honest, y'all. I remember Tank saying his hand hurt right after Barrios fight. He hurt his hand against Cruz. He does have hand problems. He's a power puncher. Just like Wilder. Wilder had hand problems, wrists. He had joints in there that affected him with his right hand, being a power puncher. Javonte Davis, he lines up his punches much more lineal and surgical than any boxer in the game, and he's gonna have hand problems, just like Floyd Mayweather. At the back end of his career, his hands was fragile, so he used to go in there and box. But what does this weekend do? Well, for one, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't believe Vasyl Lomachenko is the number one lightweight champion as far as a challenger for Cambosis belts. I don't. I really don't. It would be good to see Lomachenko versus Devin Haney next. Cambosis versus Javonte Davis would be a firestorm of a fight, because Cambosis is going to bring that shit the right way. He looked, he looked a certain way against Teo from the build up. He was game, and he went in there and got the job done. Now, of course, there's some other, variables in there people don't want to talk about, but the shit happens, y'all. It's fighters that go into fights and they're medically blemished or have a disability, so to speak, that they don't talk about because they don't want to derail the fight. At the end of the day, if you pull out for a medical injury, you're not getting paid. You're not going to get a partial stipend. You're not getting paid. Man, y'all don't understand how that works. This is boxing, man. This is not the military where you can get sick or hurt and you can take a day off or 2 or 3 and you still getting your paycheck on the 15th with no prorated percentage. I mean, come on, that's just what it is, for real. But let me talk about this guy right quick. Let me talk about Ryan Lion Garcia. This is the second fight, the second time that he's set up there and trying to make his name relevant. He's trying to return back to the sport and get championship fights, so to speak. He's trying to get go against the big names. We're talking about a fighter who had to get off the canvas against Luke Campbell. A Luke Campbell who's been coming up short in big fights. He's almost like the lightweight Sean Porter. That's real talk, man. That's what Luke Campbell is. Vasyl Lomachenko couldn't stop Luke Campbell. But Ryan Garcia, he was able to get a Luke Campbell that pretty much surrendered after he knocked him down and backed up against the ropes and allowed the fight to be finished. So Ryan Garcia coming up here after the fight and saying, you can't and will not do shit. We all seen that today. You almost lost and they set that up so you look good. What do you think they did for you there, Ryan Garcia, when you fought Luke Campbell? You were supposed to go in there and watch this dude. You were supposed to go in there and have an easy go. Javonte Davis responded and say, I will beat the both of y'all asses. Oscar De La Hoya coming out here promoting his fight, which he's supposed to do. But, Ryan Garcia is basically boasting, in a way that really don't make no sense. Like, people give him credit for being Mexican and stuff like that and being a young fighter who's supposed to have this huge fan base, and a good percentage of that fan base is women. That's what they say. It could be school-age girls. I don't know what it is. But they supposedly assume that he has this large fan base, right? He's getting in the habit. He went on Mike Tyson's podcast, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. And that's when he said, Javonte Davis' career would forever be tainted if he doesn't fight him. And then he turns around, big dummy, and like pull out the fight. Like Javonte had even said that he's willing to fight Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia pulls out the fight, dog. He said he has something bigger. So you pull out the fight that you initially requested to basically lie to the fans and say, now I'm about to sign on to fight Manny Pacquiao, which people couldn't understand how that was going to happen. Like Ryan Garcia, the 135-pound division, and Manny Pacquiao, 47. So in between time, we know Ryan Garcia will have to move up to a catch weight with Manny Pacquiao. All that shit was not ever, ever, ever making sense, y'all. It never made fucking sense. Never. But he was selling it to the fans, and they was eating it up. And if they was doing their observation, they would say, how and what weight is Ryan Garcia going to fight at? How is he going to do anything? He's going up to 144? I mean, how close to welterweight can Ryan Garcia get to step in there with a Pacquiao who's a true, welterweight right now? So that just absolutely tarnish the integrity of Ryan Garcia for us to even take him serious. And for him to come out after this fight just to say, you know what? You can't and will not do shit. We all seen that today. Well, we did see him get his hand raised, Ryan. That's what we seen. We seen him get his fucking hand raised. We seen you sitting out after lying to the fans as if you had something special for us. And you never did, shawty. Let me take y'all back to what Ryan Garcia did. I'm not going to play the whole clip.
Tank, I'm going to say it in front of Mike and Jeremy. If you do not take this fight, your legacy is forever tainted. Nobody will ever remember your name. Nobody. The money's there. I know you love money, but money's there. Damn. If you don't take the fight next, your whole legacy forever is tainted if you don't take the next fight with me. Oh, my
God. God damn. God damn, Tank. I ain't never heard no shit like this.
You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? That's the biggest clown of the lightweight division right there. Over everything. There's not a bigger clown in the lightweight division than Ryan Garcia. There's no bigger clown. He steps his ass in there with Javonte Davis, he gets stopped. If Luke Campbell sat your ass down and had you sunbathing under the lights, what the fuck you think Javonte gonna do with a good hand to start off the fight? He don't need a good hand to beat you the whole fight. Hey, he need a good hand the first half of the fight. That's all he needs with you. That's all he need, bro. We've had all your compeers there, Ryan, perform as of late. We got Lomachenko next week. We just seen Devin Haney. We seen Teofimo. We seen Cambosis. We seen Javonte Davis. We seen Jojo Diaz even. We seen majority of your compeers, but you supposed to be a part of the Fab Five? You supposed to be a part of the Fab Five there, Ryan Garcia? I mean, come on, bro. You supposed to be a part of the Fab Five, and all of your compeers have fought recently. It don't matter what the outcome was. It's the fact that they're fought. They have fought recently. Do you realize the lack of resistance that was shown when Teofimo Lopez lost against Cambosis? Did you hear Ryan Garcia up here talking shit? Did you hear something that's credible that you can then, archive and say, you know what? I want to see Ryan Garcia versus Teofimo Lopez. No, that wasn't the case because Teofimo would dust Ryan too. He might have a pretty decent go with Jojo Diaz. I don't know. But now I have to factor in Ryan Garcia stepping to Isaac Cruz, who obviously he left the fight healthy. Why don't you call Isaac Cruz out? Why are you going for Javonte? He won. Because there ain't no money there. But if you want to prove right now, it's a whole lot of people in boxing that's on that damn Isaac Cruz wagon. They should be on the Isaac Cruz wagon more than they be on the Cambosis. I'm serious, because Cambosis went down in that fight. Isaac Cruz was in there with arguably the hardest hitting boxer and right now going. And he went 12. He was able to make it to 12. But when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, who had all the haters, wishing his downfall, he was still able to knock down Cambosis with a medical situation. So why isn't Ryan Garcia going for Isaac Cruz though? That's the perfect opponent for you, Shawty. Fight the man who went the distance with the man, and then let's see. Cruz did an AB after the fight and said he thought he won the fight, and that set off a firestorm on social media. Yeah, man, they was looking forward to anything to latch on to. And being that the scorecards, y'all, come on, bro. The scorecards, people's looking at these scorecards and they just want to bite on anything. You know what I'm saying? They want to bite on anything when it comes down to it. What did the scorecards read? Let's go back. The scorecards was 115, 113. Max DeLuca. 115, 113, Zachary Young. And 116, 112. I mean, as you were. Carla Caiz, 115, 113. Max DeLuca, 115, 113. And Zachary Young, 116, 112. And they scored the fight. To me, how, I mean, you're not looking at scorecards like it was scored in the Sebastian Fundora, where one judge had it a draw, and the other ones had it such a wide margin, y'all. They had it such a wide margin. That wasn't the case here. Loma should have been tried to snatch Haney. Loma should have been tried to snatch Haney's belt. Does this guy want a belt or not? I think with Lomachenko, he's at a point in his career he wants the big fight too. You know what I'm saying? He don't understand that it will be a big fight for him to face Haney. Let me get this thumbnail down right quick though. It will be a big fight for him to face Haney. But right now, you know, Haney being blacklisted, they need to find that, how you put it. They have to find a way to divide the supporters from the haters. And within that, they need to come up with a solution to get the haters to bleed over into the supporters in a positive way. It's not like he doesn't go in there and motherfucking fight. It's the fact of his stature from inside the ring to outside the ring. It's something about people. I said this a while ago. I said this a long time ago. Only so many people are going to latch on to you for your material wealth. And then they think that's where it stops. There's a limitation on that. I don't think a lot of people can connect to who Devin Haney is as a person. Because he can definitely box his ass off. Him and Bill's going to have to figure it out because there's no way he should be getting booed like that. But we've seen that with fighters before. We've seen them get booed for whatever reason the case is. But in this case, people are demanding a better performance than Devin Haney. Even though he went in there and beat Jojo comfortably. People are going to say, oh, the fight was closer than it was. He did this. He didn't look exciting. He did what he had to do, man. He took punishment. What more do you want to do, man? You know, we won't see if he has any more power unless he moves up. But the way they're talking, I think they're gonna stay there at the 135-pound division until they get a big fight. In my opinion, I will put it out there again. You had the belt. I would say, man, you feel comfortable, move up to 140, and so you can start a whole nother, pathway to cement your legacy. Just leave the 135-pound division because there's some killers up at 140. Let's see how you look with more weight. Something. If the fighters, if fans ain't trying to show you that love down at lightweight, move up to junior, super lightweight rather, and get it in. Don't hold on that WBC belt just because the fans is thinking that they want to, we want him to fight Cambosis. Cambosis may not have the same motherfucking desire that you got. He's shown that. Cambosis is shown to be shady already. He talked that talk. But if you was really talking the talk, you wouldn't be in Vegas talking about, hey, you want to see Javonte Davis, see what he has to offer, and you got Lomachenko. If you really want to clear up the confusion, it's point blank period this week. You signing to fight Devin Haney. It's no Lomachenko, it's no Javonte. You go get all the belts, you the motherfucking man. You are the motherfucking man at lightweight. Now they have to come see you. They have to come see you so much to the fact that you have all the bargaining leverage. All the chips are in your favor, bro. You have every single belt at lightweight. Nobody can fuck with you right now. So your next paycheck, you're going to get paid well. But if you go in there against Javonte Davis, you getting stopped. But you'll get a nice, handsome reward for your services. You get a nice reward for your services, Cambosis. But you will get knocked out. So does Cambosis want to fight who he believes to be the easier go? Or he want to fight the one that he perceives as the bigger ticket? Or do he want to combine that and say, you know what? Me fighting Javonte Davis, I'm going to get paid. And it's a dangerous fight. People are going to come see it because, for one, he's bringing all the chips to the table. And then Javonte Davis has that damn equalizer, and he can box, and he presents a depth of danger to Cambosis to get stopped. I don't foresee Cambosis having a chin like Isaac Cruz. I don't see it. because he went down with Teofimo Lopez. I don't see him getting in here and just walking through Javonte's punches. Totally different fighter. And then we have to play into we have to factor in who has more punching power, George Cambosis or Isaac Cruz. We really don't know because they fought two different opponents. He was able to get a flash knockdown against Teofimo Lopez in the first round and couldn't do shit else besides box him and cut him open. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's all. I mean, I wouldn't put too much investment in that shit. But when it comes to Tank, he's gonna fight Cambosis much different than he did Isaac Cruz, though. Ryan brought up Manny to distract from the fact that he was backed into a corner with Haney and Tank across from him. And somehow it kind of worked, and his funny worked is the funny thing. Well, I agree with him backed into a corner with Haney, which he said he's going to get his attorneys. And I'm not fighting him. Y'all can talk to my attorneys. So he bailed out of that shit quick. The stuff with Tank, calling him out post-fight, I just think what he did was just skyrocket all the damn, light neon colors that he wear on his wig and that bright red nose with the big shoes. You know what I'm saying? He was in character. He was a motherfucking clown doing that shit because you post-fight called out Javonte Davis. You did. Ryan Garcia, you did. You went on that Mike Tyson's podcast and you said his career would be ever tainted if he doesn't take the fight. But then you turn around and you're the one who abort mission. You change up the scheme of everything and say you have something even bigger. So 3 times he lied to his fans. Well, I take that back. He didn't lie. He didn't lie against Haney. He just flat out showed you his true colors, which was, multicolored neon with the damn wig, the big red nose, and the oversized shoes. He's ready and dressed for the circus, goddammit. And then he turns around and calls out Javonte, and then he's the one who pulled out of the fight. And not only that, it comes down to him trying to lie to the fans and say he had a Pacquiao fight when it comes out that he never even was close to getting a Pacquiao fight. It wouldn't have made no sense. The man is 2 division lower than Manny Pacquiao. Why the fuck we want to see that fight? It would be almost like the cherry pick gone wrong. He might have wanted Manny Pacquiao his record to boost up his Wall Street, but when it comes down to the outcome or the way the bout would have played out, it probably would have went just like Anthony Joshua Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir was carefully selected to come in there and help Anthony Joshua sell tickets for that vacant belt. That's all it was. And he ended up going in there almost whooping his ass and becoming world champion when he wasn't trying to become world champion. He wasn't even, that wasn't his primary focus to become world champion. He was retired. Did he not? After Tyson Fury, how many fights did he have after Tyson Fury? It just reminds me of that shit. But Garcia, I really hope he gets the fight he won't. Like, believe it or not, people would basically want to see Ryan Garcia in there with Tank Davis just as much they want to see George Cambosis. For real. I mean, they would want to see Ryan Garcia in there with Javonte Davis just as much as they would want to see Ryan Garcia in there with George Cambosis. I mean, Cambosis in there with Javonte Davis. They have this weird infatuation with Ryan Garcia. Weird, strange, eccentric type of odd infatuation with Ryan Garcia. I guess some of these guys, they pay too much close attention seeing him in the Flash outfit, and they really think he's a superhero. So until he get his ass beat and stopped, they're gonna say, "Oh man, we love Ryan Garcia. He's a little quirky type or something, huh? Yeah. He's that guy, man. You know what I'm saying? He has a little light sense of humor, jovial type dude. Yeah." He steps his ass in there with a puncher. He's getting stopped. Even your boy there, Ryan, Saul Canelo Alvarez, put you on Front Street for not being dedicated. So you come in here with Javonte, not dedicated. You come in there with George Cambosis, not dedicated. You're gonna pick up your first L, period. And people, don't get mad. Look, don't get angry with me because I have Teofimo on the thumbnail. Because I still feel if we get a somewhat healthy Teofimo Lopez, you can't deny the fact that there's medical records to basically co-sign, what could have played out in his performance. What you're taking away from him, you need to apply. You need to inject some praise too, because he did step in there for the main event instead of pulling out. We could have been left with absolutely nothing, but we got something. And that's something for a lot of Teofimo haters was joy, because the joy was he lost his belts and he looked bad in the process. He was cut. You got what you wanted. But who the fuck is Cambosis though? It's just like Conor McGregor said. You know what I'm saying? When Jeremy Stevens thought it was an opportune time, a perfect time to make his name relevant when they was at a damn a mass press conference to promote for the UFC. I like how they have all the fighters on stage to talk. You know what I'm saying? I like how that setup is, that format. And Jeremy Stevens took it upon himself to let Conor McGregor know in the 145-pound division, hey, when I hit guys, they don't move. They stay down. And then Conor was trying to find out who was talking, and he turned around and said a classic line, like, who the fuck is that guy? And everybody lost their motherfucking mind. You got to say the same thing about Cambosis. Like, who the fuck is Cambosis? Y'all was calling Teo facing a bum before. Look through your lives. You was saying that Cambosis was a bum. When y'all found out Teo was fighting his mandatory, you say he's a fucking bum. He's a bum. Nobody knows that guy. His most notable fights is Lee Selby and Mickey Bay. He's a bum. And then when Cambosis get the victory, the fair weather boxing fans, some of you, they want to get off at the local damn train station and hop on the damn rail line straight to Australia. Hey man, fuck it. Grab the damn suitcases. Let's go. We going to Australia. I'm on the goddamn Cambosis wagon now. I got to go see this guy. I need an interview. Well, look at what I just said. I say, let's see what Thursday and Friday brings, right? What we see. Cambosis got the media time. He said what he said. But who's really talking about it? It's really this shit's still not buzzing. It's Monday on the following week. A week removed from him winning a decision over Teofimo Lopez, and still nobody's buzzing about his media weekend in Vegas. As he said he was going to step over there to see how Haney performs. This man was even commentating. You know what I did compare this weekend was Paul Pierce and George Cambosis commentating. Paul Pierce was at the weigh-ins of Javonte Davis, and George Cambosis was commentating Devin Haney, and Jojo Diaz. Both of those guys lack personality and lack the vigor for fans to say, "Oh my God, man, damn, I like this guy Cambosis commentating too." He was boring. It's always like he'll give something and he say, "But yeah, Haney's doing this right here, but." He didn't seem enthusiastic. Like, hey, he's looking good. He's winning the fight. He's getting it done. At the end of the day, it's boxing. And what I see in the ring, I would be more than willing to face him in the ring in Australia. What I'm seeing tonight, his performance, I'll be more than welcome to face him in Australia. Give me a moment. Give me a week. I'm signing the fight, and we're going to fight for all the belts. Y'all give me a moment. I'm going to have Cambosis' accent down. Just give me a moment. I'm working on it. But if he were to say, I like what I'm saying, and I'm going to get with my people, and we're going to try to make this happen. And we're going to leave no confusion to the boxing community, especially in the lightweight division. We're going to make this happen. No, it was like he gave you zero indication that he was willing and able to sign that fight with Haney. Just like Paul Pierce gave me no indication that he's going to be a regular on the boxing commentary. No. That dude need to stick to something else with throwing strip parties, stripper parties and shit like that, man. Hell no, shot. I don't want to see Paul Pierce in another weigh-in, period. Give it up to Andre Berto, though. He was trying to work on his commentating skills. Give it up to Andre Berto. You know what I'm saying? And Ariel Helwani, the man that they allowed to get away with asking the tough questions, but long as it's in that falsetto voice of his. Well, Javonte, how did you get past the fact that people were kind of saying that Mario Barrios gave you a pretty good go and you was behind on the scorecards? What do you have to say to that? He gets this high falsetto voice and people give him a pass. But if I was to go up this, like I did in the press conference, I just said, hey, Javonte, how do you rate your power transferring from 35 to 40? And he responded, you watched the fight? What you think? All right, see, that's what I get. So, but Ariel Helwani, they'll let him get away with the shit. It'd be like, Javonte, you're in there with Isaac Cruz. The fight was much closer than we originally thought. And a huge part of this fight that was missing when the final bell ring was, there was no knockout. When you assess this fight, what do you have to say to your fans about that? You wasn't able to get the knockout, but you was in there with one of the best opponents of your career. What do you have to say to that? And Javonte's going to respond. Well, it's boxing. Things happen. I hurt my hand, this, that, and the other. He fought a good fight. So let me ask you this. With the performance that Isaac Cruz was able to give you, is it fair to say that we'll see you and him back in the ring for a rematch, being that he was the second opponent in your professional career to take you the distance? I don't see that happen. I mean, I know y'all will want that just because he was able to accomplish a feat that's only been able to happen once in my career, but I don't see us stepping back in the ring anytime soon for a rematch. That's who you answer. Javonte will give Ariel Helwani that pass. But getting back to the subject. Hey, Andrew, appreciate all the questions, big dog. Appreciate you. Ryan Pierce have all been in the same solid, high-profile fight. No way he's competing against these active fighters. True words, man. That's what I'm saying. Ryan Garcia has not placed himself in a position, that position of authority, to be exact, where he can dictate who the fuck he's supposed to step in there with. Now, that doesn't mean that him calling out Javonte Davis, Javonte will not accept. Because we have to look at it. We have to pay close attention to this shit, right? We have to pay close attention to the Leo Santa Cruz fight. We have to pay close attention to the Mario Barrios fight. Now he steps in there with a last-minute replacement, which turned out to be another hard fight for Tank. So it's going to have to come a point in time where the fans have to understand that he's fighting big fights. He's fighting top-tier names. Will he fight? Will he consider Ryan Garcia a top name next year? That's depending on if his hand is not badly injured or whatever the case may be. Will he select Ryan Garcia? Because Ryan Garcia ain't shit. He ain't proved nothing, just like Andrew said. All his top opposition, they have fought recently. Besides Lomachenko. Majority of the fighters that they were saying the Fab Five, which was Haney, Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, and Javonte Davis. They was considering them the Fab Five. The last remaining Fab Five, so to speak, is Vasily Lomachenko this week. Derek Pettis, what's good? Derek Pettis says, put these questions up. Derek Pettis said, why don't you suggest these black fighters fight each other? I do. It has to make sense, though. I absolutely do. But look at the lightweight division. The Fab Five hardly has any black fighters up there that's considered the top five in the lightweight division. I'm talking about the lightweight division, bro. If you're going to ask the question, at least have some criteria to base it off of. Devin Haney is one of the only black fighters out of the Fab Five. Is Lomachenko black? Is Ryan Garcia black? Javonte Davis pretty much is detached from these guys because he was fighting outside the division. He fought Gamboa, and he only had one fight at lightweight. I have said it would be good to see Devin Haney and Javonte Davis, but Javonte is detached with Mayweather Promotions. It's not an easy fight for me to say, okay, Floyd's going to give Devin Haney the Javonte Davis fight. Those are the only two. All the other ones, man, you got Ryan Garcia, Vasily Lomachenko, and Teofimo Lopez. Just look at those names. Lomachenko, Ryan Garcia, and Teofimo Lopez. Two of those fighters, the fans are going to flock to regardless. They're not showing too much love to Teo because he's just coming off a loss. But Ryan Garcia, like I said, they want to see this guy go in there and fight somebody regardless because they believe it's going to be entertaining and he brings the value of his fan base. And then Lomachenko, even with 2 losses, they still looking at this guy's amateur pedigree. And the fact he's a 3-division champion, shit like that. So he was working his way back up the ladder to potentially fight Teofimo Lopez. That fight has now been desecrated. And he still has to step in there with a common opponent of Teofimo Lopez and Richard Comey. So let's just say he defeats Richard Comey. Now the fight fans have a selection process in front of them. Who do you want to see these fighters fight? Who are they going to say first? Lomachenko coming off this win. Who do you want him to fight? Well, you saying he was ducking Devin Haney, this, that, and the other. That's the reason why he petitioned for franchising this. Wouldn't you want to see that fight? Let's just say if Cambosis don't want to sign on Devin Haney. Wouldn't you want to see Lomachenko, Haney? That would be the biggest fight, arguably, in his boxing career for Vasily Lomachenko. That will answer a lot of questions as to where Devin Haney is at right now. But the fucked up thing about it was it will place Vasily Lomachenko in a position to pick up Devin Haney's WBC title. And then I guarantee you, Cambosis will fight Lomachenko for that WBC title. I guarantee you that. But the absolute crazy dilemma that we sitting at right now is whether Cambosis is going to pick who he considered the weakest link, but still brings a quantity of value that has worth to it, or he's going to pick an obvious top tier opponent that he's going to get a nice, handsome paycheck, but it's going to come with a higher risk. That's what we got going on with Cambosis, because he don't give me that warm and fuzzy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like having a corduroy suit on in the summertime. He don't give you that warm fuzzy that make you sweat and say, shit, damn. For sure, we know he's fighting so-and-so now. He's fighting Haney for sure. We know that. He said it. I get the vibe that he's telling the truth. Boom. We don't get that from Cambosis. Right now, he's just all banter, man. He better be careful. For real. He don't want to place these boxing fans in the pandemic funk. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. You don't want to put them boxing fans in the pandemic funk, if you heard me. That pandemic funk, all they're going to do is just be waiting. They're not going to be really, it's going to be like almost like they're not worried about showing up to the fight. They know they'll see it somehow, some way. They're not worried about it. It's going to be without any attendance, without a live gate. You know, pretty much during the pandemic, the boxing fans were like, man, I ain't worried about that, man. You know, I'll see it when I see it. We can't go to the fights anyway, so it is what it is, man. I ain't sweating it. They're going to give you that pandemic funk. I see the fight when I see the fight, but I ain't showing up to it. I heard from somebody who was on deck. Check this out. I heard that the arena did not sell out, but you heard after the Tank Davis fight that he sold out the motherfucking Staples Center. So that's going to be a huge factor in who's the top dog. Who's the top dog? The top dog right now in the lightweight division is Javonte, dog. Period. Andrew Charles say Haney might have to make that decision in the near future whether or not to let go of his belt if it's not doing anything for him. Let me word this correctly because people run with it. They'll screen record your shit and run and tell like some hoes. Just like Jada say, the soft ones send the hate through the bitches. And that's absolutely true. But let me get back to the topic. Let me word this correctly. Some people that's in a position like the Haneys feel that the only source of power that they have is the belt, but really don't understand how to maximize that power by dropping the belt and moving up and advancing to a higher position and taking the lead. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm trying to say is the Haneys have been playing catch up down here in the lightweight division ever since Vasil Lomachenko requested the franchise title and basically prohibited or prevented Devin Haney from having a mandatory shot at Lomachenko. So being that Teo switched routes and went through his gauntlet and was able to beat Lomachenko, Haney was still playing catch up and trying to play nice love-hate relationship with Teofimo Lopez to get the fight. But in my opinion, the Lopez has never had any intentions of fighting Haney anytime soon. Now brings in the question, will Bill and his team truly understand that they still have power without having that belt? If they let go the primary source of the championship strap, will the whoever's that WBC Cambosis, whoever fights for that vacant title, would they entail somehow, some way get the shot that Haney wasn't able to get? The Haney shouldn't even be worried about it because they should automatically move up. If they relinquish that belt, move up to 140, guess what? Don't worry about what's going on 35 no more. Don't worry about if you see somebody fight for the vacant and then they get a shot at a fighter that you were no close to getting a shot with. Don't worry about it because what you're trying to do is further extend your career. Set yourself up for another title shot. That's at the 140-pound division. That's if you are confident in yourself. So pretty much what I'm saying is some individuals don't understand how to have power without having something to signify that they have power. You can have power without having somewhat of a semi how you put it, somewhat of a physical object. You know, those physical objects in boxing are titles. How can you still possess a quantity of power that's high enough to be relevant without having it in your possession? And that's what the Haneys are going to have to figure out. They're going to have to figure out how do they sustain that power to be able to redirect traffic to another sanctioning body if they was to drop the belt. Or even furthermore, you drop the belt and you say, pretty much I'm done with the lightweight division. I'm moving up to 140 division. That's my focus. I don't care what happens after I drop the belt. I'm done here. I was world champion. Cambosis didn't want to fight me. I'm done. Don't wait on Cambosis no more. If Cambosis don't fight Haney next, if you want to try to get a big fight with somebody who's willing to step in there with you, do it. If not, the Haneys need to move up to 140 because obviously they're being blacklisted down there. And no one's of credibility to basically put that extra layer to that extra badge that we're looking for on Haney's chest plate. No one's giving him the chance to get that star, bro. He's being ducked. Jojo found out the pace was a lot more than he thought. He couldn't keep up with the pace. Fortuna ducked him. Garcia ducked him. Jojo ducked him. But since Ryan Garcia had to pull out of the Jojo fight, Jojo had to return to get this paycheck. Batman in the building, what's good with you? Cambosis had a great fight with Teo. It was, I don't know about the GREAT. I don't consider, he had a good fight in my opinion, Batman. But I don't consider it great. I'm just looking at the fight, how it played out, and what I know now in the wash. I'm not making excuses for nobody. You know, as human beings, we have to put that disclaimer out there. I'm not making excuses for T.O., but if the man had a medical condition during the fight and he still stepped in, he should be praised for stepping in there. Don't let me go down the list of people who said they had injuries and you know what I'm saying? Don't let me start with Lomachenko ass, okay? Don't let me start. I know y'all can get on Teofimo talking about he pulled the Adrian Bronner and thought he won the fight. I didn't co-sign off that. But I'm just saying, after Lomachenko lost, this motherfucker was up here talking about shoulder, and he was talking about the judges was paid. So y'all got to hold him accountable worse, more severely than you did Teofimo Lopez. Because he said the judges was paid off. And Cambosis offered Teo a rematch. Batman, I don't agree with that. Cambosis was just talking just like Ryan Garcia. I put them in the same. I put Cambosis and Ryan Garcia on the same inner tube, Batman, and send their motherfucking ass down the damn river at Niagara Falls. They don't remember. They're not trying to convince me of all that damn after talk. Yeah, if you want a rematch, come to Australia at 80,000. That's just the adrenaline talking there, Batman. That's just him giving shit to the fans, dog. You know why I say that? Because the same way they was criticizing Teo, they came up here and relished in the moment. Yes, I do see George Cambosis as the undisputed lightweight title. You know, Lomachenko had all the belts. So it's funny, right? It's funny how his team can say Lomachenko had all the belts. He won the WBC against Luke. But then when I was explaining to people that I was explaining the exact same scenario-based result that I'm coming with undisputed. He defeated the man. To beat the man, you got to beat the man. He defeated the man. They had all the belts except the IBF. And Teo got it done. But everybody said, no. Now, the same thing. But it's somebody that's outside of the WBC and outside World Combat Sports. And that's Team Cambosis. They went up there and said that Lomachenko had all the belts. So what he was trying to do is like that registered to Teofimo Lopez, to George Cambosis. That's exactly what his team was saying. That registered all the way back from T.O. to now George Cambosis. And that's why Mauricio Suleiman say, I have recognized George Cambosis as the undisputed world champion. I have spoken to Team Haney and they understand. How? How now that Team Haney can understand, so to speak, but yet the same conversation was being had when T.O. had the belts, shawty? Sir Ken on deck. World Combat Sport. Salute. Salute to the wrenches and salute to the chat. Smash the like button, says Sir Ken. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Mark Casey on deck. Ryan should fight T.O. Double knockout. What up? World Combat Sports. Hey, I like that matchup. Okay. But what does it do, Mark, for T.O.? Like that would be a plus for Ryan Garcia to fight T.O. But how much does it benefit Teofimo Lopez to fight a Ryan ducking lying Garcia? The pound for pound Duck Masters Coalition boxer in the world. How does it benefit T.O. to face Ryan Lion Garcia? This man ducked more fighters in a short period of time than people have did in their entire boxing career over a 15-year span. How do we want to see that? How? I mean, you're talking about somebody who's formerly undisputed, man. Why would he want to take a step down? If he planned on coming back to the 135-pound division and he's been having weight problems, he should come back and fight a banger. He should come back and fight a top-tier opponent. Appreciate your comment, dog. John said, black people don't even like Ryan. It's just Mexican shit. You wouldn't imagine. That would be a weird, strange situation right there. Wouldn't it, Batman, that you say that come to find out black people don't like Ryan? I don't know, man. Put him in there with the right fighter. They'll love his ass. You know, put this is a perfect example. Put Ryan Garcia in there with Devin Haney. You'll see how many black people love Ryan Garcia. They are infatuated. Oh, God, thank you, Jesus. Ryan Garcia get the Devin Haney fight. Thank you, Jesus. We support you, Ryan. Go, Ryan. Go, Ryan. You'll find black people all over the place supporting Ryan Garcia, dog. Ryan and get on the mic, say, well, I was basically skimming through YouTube and I heard this guy, John Page, mention that black people don't like me. Well, hey, check this out. Do y'all support me? Yeah. I think, John, hey, it's all black people out here now. I'm in your hood. Ryan Garcia says, well, I'm in your hood, John. Okay. I mean, I have Mexican women out here, black women, you know. I see a lot of color here. To be honest. That should be hilarious, dog. But what was Cambosis' favorite word when it came to talking about the Haney matchup? His favorite word was how he look. You know what I'm saying? Look. How he look. How he performs. Not enough falsetto in your voice. I really can't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? I was blessed with, having that Barry White undertone at one point in time. That was strictly for the women, though. When you get older, your shit just low for no reason because you're trying to survive. You trying to make it through the back end of your life, shout it. Dude, why are you talking so low? I don't know, man. I'm good. I'm just trying to see how many years I got left on this earth, dog. That I'm pushing 60, shawty. So why T.O. ain't act do the same way you want Cambosis to act? So why Tio ain't act the same way you want Cambosos to act? So this is the difference between what I've been talking about the whole time. The reason the whole time I've been saying Devin Haney's being blacklisted. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say T.O. duck Devin Haney because it was just like Lomachenko. It wasn't mandatory for him to face Devin Haney. It wasn't mandatory. It's a choice. That Batman. It is an absolute choice for him to face Devin Haney when it comes down to the belt structure. Now, Devin Haney had something that wasn't a choice. It was a mandatory. And in certain cases, undisputed would trump a mandatory, will it not? So in this case, the franchise belt superseded the belt that Devin Haney has in his possession. So he chose to go the Cambosis route. Because at the time, Devin Haney was building up his record. You know, you're going from Alfredo Santiago, and then you get Yorkis Gamboa. And then he went the distance and said he was trying to prove to the people he can outperform and outwork a fighter. People wasn't too much buying into it, so he had to step up and fight somebody else. In between time, Tio was like, I'm going to fight my mandatory. For whatever reason, him and his dad didn't give Devin Haney the shot right off the rip. He would have had to drop that IBF title. We already know from Sergey Daryanchenko debacle that the IBF is very strict with their mandatories. We know that. Sergey Daryanchenko was able to fight for the IBF title twice and being in that position. And then he lost, and then they switched him over to the WBC with Charlo. The IBF is very strict with their mandatories, man. What fight you talking about, Pac-Man? Pac-Man, Tay Jones on deck. What fight you talking about? What fight we talking about? We had several fights this weekend. Ben Israel on deck. Shalom WCS. What's good, Shorty? Well, Shorty is up there, in New York, but down here in the South is Shouty. You know what I'm saying? It's Shouty. What fight you talking about, Pac-Man? You talking about Teofimo Kambosos fight? I don't know. I wasn't able to get to the comment exactly. So what's next with this, though? Who's the Fab Five now? Because I know at one point in time, y'all had Javonte because he hadn't really had but one fight at 135. Y'all had him damn near at the bottom of the top five. Who's top five now? After all the fights have played out, who's the top five now? What's your top five in the lightweight division? Because the last time we did the top five, Cambosis was nowhere in sight. That's even with monoculars. We couldn't see him. So who's the top five now? Number one has to be Javonte Davis. It has to be. Number two has to be Devin Haney. Number three, dependent on how you look at it, you have to put Cambosis in there because he has the titles. He just beat one of the ones y'all had up there at the 1 or 2 slot or whatever, and George Cambosis. And you're probably saying to yourself, how can you put Cambosis in front of Devin Haney? Because he defended his titles. You know what I'm saying? He defended his title. George Cambosis haven't defended his title. But once again, let me reiterate this too. The reason why Teofimo Lopez was up there, because he defeated Vasily Lomachenko, who was on the pound-for-pound list, number 2. Teofimo Lopez didn't make it on the pound-for-pound list until he defeated Vasily Lomachenko. Cambosis came as an IBF mandatory, and he defeated Teofimo Lopez. Okay. But he needs to defend the title. Devin just didn't pick up a world title by defeating Jojo Diaz. He was defending it. Number 4, we can put Ryan. We can put Javonte Davis. You know what I'm saying? And once again, the reason I don't have Javonte Davis in front of Cambosis is the fact that he fought Isaac Cruz, a last-minute replacement. I'm fucking with y'all, dog. I'm gonna start fucking with y'all. Because I know Batman, I hear people, I see people in the comments say, I'm just fucking with y'all, dog. I'm just fucking with y'all with Javonte Davis, dog. I wanted to send people into an uproar. My dog, what did he talk about? He just put Javonte Davis up here and this, that, and the other. Dog, it gets cloudy at the end of the top 5 list. You know, Javonte Davis, Devin Haney, and then 3rd, Kambosos, and I really don't care less about the 4th and the 5th, to be honest with you, dog. To be honest, I don't care about the 4th and the 5th. It could be Ryan Garcia. You know, whenever Teofimo, and once again, I have to say this, Teofimo Lopez, they're saying they're moving up to 140, okay? Before people start dropping comments. He say they're moving up to 140, so I got to extract him from the top 5. Even though he hasn't really gave us that automatic true commitment that he's moving up to 140, I can't sit up here and put him, and he's already made a statement, and he said, hey, we should have dropped the belts and moved up to 140. I'm out. I don't know if he's still a lightweight. So Ryan Garcia for Lomachenko, something like that, man. Lomachenko lost. Teo lost. You know what I'm saying? Cambosis, he's the champion. You have to factor all that in. Javonte, Devin Haney, Cambosis has the belts. And then, you know, you take Ryan Garcia, who's still undefeated, and then you kind of factor in bleed over Lomachenko. People still going to give Lomachenko the benefit of the doubt, even though he lost the fight. They're still going to say he's better than Ryan Garcia, but he has 2 losses. Ryan Garcia, he's still undefeated. And then it plays into whoever else you want to, you know, Ryan Garcia, Lomachenko, play around with that shit right there. Jojo Diaz, I really can't put him in the top 5, though. I can't do that. He really never established himself off a Javier Fortuna win at lightweight division, so I really can't put him top 5. I put Richard Comey in front of Jojo Diaz, to be honest. Even though Jojo Diaz haven't been stopped in his career, I just feel that it'll be a good fight between Jojo Diaz and Richard Comey. I don't know. That'll be very interesting. But 4 or 5 gets a little fuzzy. You know, Ryan Garcia, Vasil Lomachenko, you know. And I kind of put like Ryan Garcia should be a number 5 for inactivity and capping. But what do? You take inactivity or you take a loss as far as your placement. You take inactivity or you take a loss. That's the big deal. You know, that's the huge part of it right there. Who do you award? The undefeated record, inactivity, or someone who actually stepped in, took the L, and now he's came back and he defeated Masayoshi Nakatani, and now he's going in there against Richard Comey. How do you award that? He has 2 losses. Ryan Garcia has 0. But you're talking about accolades. Okay, yeah. But then I heard the accolades don't matter. It's just all about what you did in the lightweight division and shit like that. So since he never fully unified the lightweight division and he took his second L, I don't know, man. Let's just put Lomachenko as 4, Ryan Garcia as 5 to make people happy. Because I just think Lomachenko's shit with him making excuses like Pacquiao when he was beat by T.O. I just frown upon that shit. Like, you didn't take your loss like a man, but yet people getting mad at what T.O. said after the fight. T.O. said, I know I won, da da da. And then they let Lomachenko sit up in a hospital bed with little tape around little areas of incisions and say his shoulder was injured. And then the judges was paid off. And people just let that shit slide off. Hell no. The Boxing King Archives, what's good? Salute at World Combat Sports. Do you think Lomachenko is a smarter fighter than Comey? Salute at John Page, Batman, Pac-Man, Tay. Of course, smartness is so many areas where you consider smart when it comes to ring IQ. The way Lomachenko fights, moves around the ring, man. The way he breaks his opponents down, because he's not a power puncher, but the way he's able to break his opponents down, he's a very smart fighter. He's a very smart fighter. I would think the highlights of Richard Comey's career, like the Ray Beltran fight, was tailor-made for Richard Comey. I didn't see any real tough decisions he had to make. I mean, Beltran was going to be right there in front of him. So that's easy for me to say in the bigger fights. For Vasyl Lomachenko, I would say he's a smarter fighter. Because Lomachenko did go the distance with T.O. But before that, Richard Comey got smashed in 2 rounds. So I have to say Vasyl Lomachenko, period. Hands down. I would have to say Lomachenko. He's not an extreme power puncher, but he knows how to break his opponents down with constant pressure, and his footwork is amazing. And he has a lot to bring to the table when it comes to his the technique of his boxing. But also Richard Comey has power. He can box. We just seen him go in there and stop Jackson Marinez, who went the distance with Rolly Romero. He was robbed. You know what I'm saying? He was robbed. But yet he goes in there with Richard Comey, a much more sound fighter than Rolly Romero. And Richard Comey stops him. I believe he's in the 6th round. Now he has to put all that shit together and go ahead and do the same to Lomachenko. I always said Lomachenko was a bit overrated to me. That's all I'm saying. So I'm going for Richard Comey in this fight. I know he's a better fighter than what we've seen with Teofimo Lopez. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the history of Richard Comey, man, he did some great things, especially for his country. Douglas 15, salute on deck, man. Good work last night. It was definitely good work, man. Now we have to see what the aftermath is. But yeah, that's my top 5, man. Javonte, Devin, Cambosis, then Lomachenko, and Ryan Garcia. You can't play around with people today too much, because they say, "Oh man, I screen recorded this shit," but they won't give you the whole summation. You know what I'm saying? I really think deep down inside, Javonte Davis is the man. For real. He's the man. And then Devin Haney, because he's defending his titles, he should be up next for Cambosis to clean up all. He holds the last stone to everything. So if you're not going to fight for the last stone, and Devin Haney recognized that, he should move on. He should get up out of here. Don't give them any more of your time there, Haney. Move on. Don't give them no more time. If Cambosis don't fight you next, don't give him no more time, because these guys ain't trying to see you, man. But Cambosis, just because he beat Teofimo, who was sitting at like 7th or 8th on the pound for pound, the ring pound for pound, and BWA, he was in the top 5. I mean, I just look at it like you hit the canvas, dog. When Teo fought Lomachenko, it was no knockdowns. Yeah, you was able to give people a tough, bloody type battle up in there. You brought it was fireworks in that fight. Cool. But look, I haven't seen Devin Haney on the canvas. I haven't seen Devin Haney on the canvas, bro. I seen Cambosis on the canvas already. On all fours. 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 Cuatro. I seen him on all fours later on in the fight. So just because he got the straps, man, I was like, he ain't proven. He is not proven. He is not proven. That's all I'm saying. He ain't defended. Defend your motherfucking titles, dog. Defend it against the right person. Defend your titles against the right name. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to Showtime News. In the building. What's good with you, Shalom? How you feeling, bro? Yes, at the bubble in Vegas in February. Big up to WCS. Man, y'all make sure y'all check out Showtime. Showtime Shaw Media. One of the damn generals over there, underground, doing this thing, man. Be sure you follow him on his channel. Real talk. Solid cat, man. Out there doing this thing. Shout out to you, my brother. Keep on grinding regardless of what the words and the voices you hear that's not motivating you to push harder. Go ahead and do your own fucking thing, dog. Douglas 15 said, my top 5 also in that order. What you saying nope to that, Douglas? I know some of y'all just be... One thing about me, I elaborate on comments sometime, and it takes me a little bit of time to catch up and filter through because I always interact with the dang live chat. Cambosis, Dev, Tank, Teo, Loma. So you put Cambosis based off the belts alone. But see, they wasn't doing that for Teofimo when he had the belts. I didn't hear that same language when Teo had the belts. Teo defeated the top 2 pound for pound guy, but they didn't have him as number 1. They had Vasil Lomachenko still up there. You know what I'm saying? They was putting Devin in front of Teo. So I'm not buying that Cambosis is in front of everybody. He just picked up the straps. Teofimo Lopez didn't sit higher than Lomachenko on the pound for pound list. So Cambosis was able to win the titles. Okay, cool. But he was also on the deck doing Teofimo's championship. He wasn't on the deck. You know what I'm saying? When Teo had the belts, they weren't putting him as number 1. They was up there saying, oh, this fighter, Lomachenko, is number 1. And then Devin's in front of dang Teo, and because he didn't fight Devin, he's ducking. The same thing going on with Cambosis. He ain't mentioning Devin's name like that. And then the Tank, the only reason Tank was at the bottom 5 was the fact that he hasn't really fought nobody at 135. So they was like, can we really consider him a lightweight? Now that he's finished Isaac Cruz, I look at it like, yeah, Isaac Cruz is a last minute replacement, but he wasn't ranked that high. But you have to look at the entertainment value of the fight. You have to look at 3-weight champion. You have to look at him being on PPV, selling out arenas. Yes. If you're going to use this scenario for Errol Spence and Bud Crawford, we're going to use it for Javonte Davis. It doesn't just sit here and sustain itself like an ink spot on a white suit just because it's Errol Spence and Bud. How can we put Cambosis above Javonte just off the titles? Shouldn't we just sit up here and say, "Oh, Javonte, he's the numbers. The PPV is all about butts in the seats." If it's all about butts in the seats, man, goddamn it, Javonte is number one in the lightweight division. If it's all about the butts in the seats, dog, you cannot put him behind Cambosis and Devin when it comes to butts in the seats. You can't put him behind Lomachenko when it comes to butts in the seats. You can't do it. Both Teo and Loma lost. Now you have Cambosis and Dev with titles, but you put Tank third when he doing the highest number with butts in the seats. That's kind of contradicting what I'm hearing in this 147-pound division. I'm just being honest, man. I'm hearing different, shawty. I'm hearing different, man. Because it must really details accolades when it comes down to it. Because Arrow has 2 belts, and you say he putting butts in the seats, but he's the number one supposedly when it comes to Bud Crawford. But when it comes to Javonte Davis, you extract the amount of titles, of course, from Cambosis and Devin, but he's putting butts in the seats. Then thirdly, it comes down to, if you forget the accolades, then it comes down to butts in the seats. He's doing bigger numbers. Well, who's up there doing bigger numbers than Javonte? Cambosis? Devin? Teo? Loma? Who's doing bigger numbers than Tank? Who has more divisions than Tank? Neither one of them names you just mentioned. Who has more accolades as far as straps, so to speak? Who could have potentially unified? You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko's a 3-weight champion too. But when it comes down to it, what? Does he put more butts in the seats than Tank? We won't know because he's not a PPV. He's not a PPV star, man. He ain't selling out arenas. We can't sit here and use that shit for Anthony Joshua all the time and don't use it for Javonte Davis. We can't do it, shawty. We can't do it. Batman flying this motherfucker. Say drop the link. Let me get through. I'm gonna drop the link, dog. Let me get through some shit. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and drop the link to you, bro. Let me drop the link so I can, because I'm never gonna be able to get back on my other subject by dropping the link. Explain what that means. You giving Cambosis number one after not even proving itself a mandatory. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, how can we give the man haven't even defended his titles yet? Attempted to defend his titles. At least Devin, with the WBC title, has defended his title. What's going on, Batman? How you feeling, bro?
Hey, Scotty. How you doing, Scotty?
I'm cool, man. What's good with you? What you want? I know you come here for one reason only, to debate something. So go ahead, dog.
Nah, I was saying, you talking about Tank and Earl. See, Earl fought, what, 2 of the top 5 fighters at welterweight, right?
We talking about butts in the seats.
No.
Period.
All right, cool.
Period.
All right, cool. Then you don't give Cambosis the same respect that everybody gave Teofimo Lopez.
They didn't give him that number one spot you talking about,
Yes,
respectfully.
they did. Yes, they did.
Oh, they was putting Devin in front of him because he needs to fight Devin. They saying just because the franchise belt, he ain't.
I ain't talking about people. No, he was number one on the when you go look at the rack, the box rack, and the what's that? The box live joint. When they got him in order, when you go look at that ringside, he's number one.
No. I was talking about my top 5.
I mean,
I'm talking about the top 5 when it comes to debating on YouTube on how
oh
Tio won
man,
the belts, and they still didn't put him number 1.
me, Cambosos, Devin, then Tank, because Tank haven't fought nobody and that a motherfucker want him to see fight. He's a attraction. He ain't nothing but what they did to Mike Tyson, dog.
He's a 3-weight attraction
no,
with
he's not.
PPV numbers.
He a attraction. He didn't fight nobody at them 3 weights. He ain't fight nobody that you can say, oh yeah, damn yeah, man, Tank a motherfucking hell of a dog going through him.
You said Tank or what? Or what now?
A hell of a dog going through him.
Going through who?
Whoever the fuck he fought. Come on, man. You put him up against Leo Santa Cruz that ain't got no punching power, that ain't got no defense, that just never Mexican that just sit there right there and throw punches. At least the boy Cruz from last night, he had movement. Tank was difficult for Tank.
I saw Tank doing the moving.
No, I'm talking about when he come in, he had movement with his head. His head
That
ain't
was only in the first half of the fight. His pretty much was on center. You know what's good about Cruz? His defense. His defense.
Yeah,
his guard.
And he moved his head a little bit.
That was in the first 2 rounds to me. First 2 or 3 rounds, Batman.
Yeah, but Tank got tired too. Tank stopped moving. I mean, come on, man.
I just don't agree with Cambosis being number 1 just because he got the titles. And he came out of nowhere off of Mickey Bay.
You put
off of Mickey Bay, shawty. Huh?
You put T.O. at number 1 when he beat the man, right?
Because he was top 2 pound for pound behind Saul Canelo Alvarez.
All right, cool. So
T.O. was like 6 or 7. Depending on you look at BWA, he was the top 5 or whatever.
All right, so he go in there. He was the top of the lightweights on the pound for pound list, right?
Who was the top of the lightweights? T.O.? Yeah, because he beat Loma.
Okay, then. So,
only 2 divisions that's on there. The only 2 divisions that's on the pound for pound list at one point in time that had 2 people is Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, and Teofimo Lopez Lomachenko. For a long time, Lomachenko was the only lightweight that was on the pound for pound list.
Yes, Teofimo wasn't on the pound for pound list till he beat Vasil Lomachenko.
Correct.
All right, then. So if Teofimo Lopez was the top on the pound for pound list as a lightweight, and Cambosa beat him, then Cambosa get his spot.
But we also have to factor in how the performance, in my opinion, worked out for Cambosis. He was down late in the fight.
It was a great performance. He was down.
It wasn't that great about that performance there, Batman. What do you see great about that shit?
It was a fight.
It wasn't great, though.
It was a great fight, man. They fought. It ain't like Cambosa ran the whole fight. He boxed. He in certain spots he fought with Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez knocked his ass down in the last round. He was hurt a little bit, got back up and fought.
I don't see it as a great fight.
He ain't running.
And then he
ain't pulling Devin Haney when Devin Haney got rocked by Linares. He fought. So
he fought what?
He fought back.
Who? Haney?
Kambosos.
I mean, we're talking about the graded Teofimo Lopez at that point in time, but yeah, he fought.
Yeah, when he was in danger, he fought.
I don't see him as being that guy though. He haven't did anything. No one really know who he was.
Man, Teofimo Lopez ain't do nothing. Hold up.
Yes, he did, bro.
Yes,
he fought Nakatani, who was ranked high. He was ranked higher than him when he went over to the IBF. Look, Batman. They fought a title eliminator. Nakatani was ranked higher than Tio.
All right.
Tio beat him. Then he beat Comey, the champion. So the pound for pound, check this out, Batman. The pound for pound, when he finally beat Lomachenko, I put him higher on the list than Cambosis because Cambosis was a freaking mandatory. I just thought the harder road travel was Teofimo Lopez to get to the Lomachenko fight. Cambosis, I can't say that shit just because he won
Cambosis
the final fight.
He worked his way to the mandatory spot.
We ain't talking about whether he worked his way. I'm talking about the competition comparable to Nakatani and Richard Comey. Teofimo Lopez came in the unification with a belt.
So who Nakatani fight?
Teofimo came into the unification with a belt.
Who Nakatani fight?
Nakatani was ranked higher than Teo at 18-0.
He was ranked. Since you said,
bro, we're not talking semantics. We're talking about what his ranking was.
All right, but which con was the mandatory? And you talking about, see, you can't have it both ways. You saying that Cambosis ain't fight nobody. Bam. So who did Nakatani fight before he fought Teofimo Lopez?
But we're talking about coming into this equation with a title or not. Did Cambosis, was he a champion before he stepped in there with Teo? No, he was the mandatory. Look, he was a mandatory for the same. He was a mandatory for the IBF, the same title Teofimo Lopez fought Richard Comey for.
Cool. He was a mandatory. Motherfucking was. So Nakatani was never a mandatory. Who did Nakatani fight?
He had to fight Nakatani the fight Richard Comey for the title eliminator.
All right, so you giving
even Devin Haney was ranked in the IBF, but chose not to go that route.
You giving Nakatani credit for being the number 2 in the IBF, but you're not giving Cambosa the credit for being the number 1. At the time he went to go fight Teofimo Lopez.
How many belts that Cambosis have though? How many belts did he have walking to that unification?
No.
Teofimo had the IBF title there, Batman.
But no, he didn't have a title yet. So how many belts?
Teofimo had the title before he stepped in with Lomachenko, bro.
No, I'm talking about with Nakatani. You give it,
man. Who cares about Nakatani when he got the job done? That was a title eliminator.
No, that shit looked ugly. That was a draw for real.
But, I don't care. I don't care what it looked like. I'm telling you what the results are.
All right, cool. But you giving Nakatani all this credit, but not giving Cambosa his credit. It don't make sense.
It makes sense to me because Teo went into the Lomachenko fight with a title. Cambosis was the mandatory with no title. He was fighting for the title. I give him that edge to be that guy who came in with an IBF championship.
But listen what you just said. You said Nakatani, Comey, and fucking and Lomachenko. Nakatani didn't have a belt, and for real, Lomachenko made Nakatani look easy.
You confirming my point about Nakatani. Once again, I said Nakatani was for the title eliminator.
I know who he was. No, when you gave him credit, I gave him Richard Comey and Lomachenko. You gave him Nakatani, Richard Comey, and Lomachenko.
Because they was ranked above him, dog.
Okay, but who did Nakatani fight?
Look who was ranked above Cambosis. Yeah, look, I'm talking about for him to get to the mandatory. You want to talk about Mickey Bay and Lee Selby?
No, Nakatani.
Split decisions? Split decisions, dog?
They both of them was champions at one time.
Oh, bro, come on. Now we're talking about what they were. Come on, Batman.
Cool. Nakatani was nobody.
You can't have all the damn pie, dog. You got to save me some slices.
Listen, Nakatani was nobody. He
is somebody, bro. He was ranked above Teofimo when he came over there.
All right, nobody knew him. He got his credit of having.
Who the fuck knew Cambosis?
Can I finish? He had his credit of having a tough fight with Teofimo Lopez. That's when Nakatani stock went up. For having a tough fight with Teofimo Lopez. That's when his name really came on the scene. And then when he beat when he was getting dogged and what's the dude name? The little
Felix Verdejo, dog. Felix Verdejo.
Yeah, Verdejo. When he had a dog fight with Verdejo and came out and dogged it out and knocked Verdejo out, his stock went up even more.
And once again, what was the 2 decisions for Cambosis with Lee Selby and Mickey Bay?
Split decisions.
Okay, then. I rest my case. I rest my case.
Cool. He had
I
a
rest my
single
case back, man.
win.
I rest my case back, man.
He had a majority win over Teofimo Lopez.
Batman, I rest my case.
Oh, all right.
I'm just saying.
He had a
Nakatani was
majority win.
18-0 undefeated, and you're talking about two former world champions.
If that was the case, Teofimo Lopez supposed to stop him.
No, not really. No. Javonte Davis supposed to stop damn a last-minute replacement, but he didn't, right?
Most definitely. I mean,
hey, what are we talking about? We're talking
Javonte
about
Davis supposed to have been in a fight before Teofimo Lopez, in a bigger fight before Teofimo Lopez. So what is we talking about? I don't bring Javonte Davis up to me. He has.
But I'm going off your own words, Batman. You're talking about who Tio was supposed to stop in Nakatani.
I mean,
who said that?
The way you dogging Cambosis, he was supposed to stop.
Why are you defending Cambosis? You weren't defending Tio like this.
Who? I don't even talk about Teofimo Lopez.
Dog.
I don't even
Why
talk
you
about
defending
him.
Cambosis? He ain't did shit, dog.
I don't talk about him. I never bashed him because he did what some of these dudes early on in their career haven't done for the best. So I can't say nothing bad about him. You never heard me dog.
I'm glad you said he hasn't done what a lot of these dudes do in their career, Batman. I'm glad you said that because last time I checked, Tio picked up the belt at 15 fights, bro.
Dog, I just said that. You can go on any platform. You never hear me dog Teofimo Lopez.
That's what you did, but I'm telling you, Cambosis, he earned 20. Look, his split decisions leading up to that fight, he wasn't champion. He was the number one contender. He picked up his 20th victory. Tio picked up his 16th victory as undisputed lightweight champion.
That's a great feat.
That just proves what I'm saying about he's a higher value than Cambosis, because Cambosis he coming off two split decisions.
He lost to Cambosis, man. Just like my brother lost to Lomachenko. That shit off in the water, man. He got to come back. But what I can
your brother was fighting for the vacant title, Batman.
All right, but what I can say about Cambosis,
he wasn't champion. He was fighting for the vacant, bro.
Yeah, I know, but he lost. Man, that shit, he lost. Now it's time to get on. But what I can say about Cambosis, he offered him a rematch.
Man, it was just talk, dog.
I mean,
it was just talk, Batman. I don't believe that. I don't believe Cambosis. Man, do you believe with Ryan Garcia? Ryan Garcia was calling out Javonte at the end of the fight.
I mean, your man, the one went off in the ring like Adrian Broner.
Hey, I admitted that myself. He was up there, acting out. You know what I'm saying? Just showing out. You know what I'm saying? I said that.
Cambosis treating him like, Cambosis in that moment, Cambosis was the cold man in that moment.
Man, everybody lied different there, Batman.
Dennis Farber in there lying to him. Come on, man.
Like I said, everybody lied different. I don't believe Cambosis and what he was saying. It sounded good to come over to Australia for 80,000. All right, come over to Australia for 80,000, and then look, that's Teofimo Lopez. I'm gonna tell you how contradicting Cambosis is since you advocating for him. After the fight, he was telling Tio, "Oh yeah, you ain't do it in Australia," and then he come up there and say, "Oh, Devin Haney, he looks good. We can go over to Australia and do it for 80,000." Which one is it? You gonna fight Devin Haney or you want to give Tio a rematch? Which one you want?
When he said rematch, Tio said nah.
Because they're thinking about moving up. They've been thinking about moving up forever and a day to 140.
They thought they won. They thought they won. That's before, dog. He said that. Listen, he said that before they made the announcement. Remember, he went over there to Tio, started rapping to Tio. Say, man, if you want, we can have a rematch. Tio was like, nah. Then if the announcements was calm, he thought he won.
Tio said the same thing about Lomachenko in the rematch. He said, why should I rematch him? He didn't give me a rematch. He didn't put a rematch clause in there. I'm not even thinking about Lomachenko. Because they had previous beef with each other. He said the same thing to Lomachenko. So if he said Cambosis, I ain't got to rematch him. I mean, that's what he feels. He's moving up.
I understand him because he was the champion. I said when Cambosis knew he won. Cambosis came over there and said,
a lot of us thought Cambosis won, Batman.
Yes, I'm talking about in that moment. Cambosis knew he won. Cambosis went over there and said, man, we can rematch. We can go to Australia. He was like, nah, because he thought he won. That's all I'm saying. If that's the case, man, look, man, Cambosis in the driver's seat, man. Whoever
Man,
he
why you
picked,
ain't saying? Why you ain't putting the same? People that's up here. You saying T.O. was capping?
I don't
You said
advocate
T.O.
for
was capping,
nobody.
right? T.O. was capping, talking about he won, right? Why you ain't putting the same emphasis on Isak Cruz? He up here talking about he thought he won the fight last night.
Man, I fell asleep on that fight, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was sitting here
Man, you
watching
fell
the
asleep
motherfucker.
because you was tired. You didn't fall asleep because that shit was boring, dog.
Nah, it wasn't boring. I was tired. It's
Oh, okay.
Sunday. I gotta get up and
You made
take
it
my
seem
kids
like
to
it was a
school.
boring fight.
Nah, I'm just saying I fell asleep on it, so I gotta go back and watch it.
Man, Javonte's done more in the lightweight division. He's number one on the top 5 pound for pound.
What the fuck he
And that
doing? Like,
motherfucking
man,
on the
fuck
on the
that
lightweight
boy and
division, dog.
Cruz, man. He
No,
fuck
he did
that
more,
boy
dog.
and Cruz, man. For real, I still Slim. If for real, I drop T.O. back to 3. If that's the case.
But the only reason I put T.O. off the list in general because he's made a commitment to say they're moving up to 140.
Nah, he ain't making no commitment. He just saying it.
He did. They've been saying it forever that they was gonna move up. They just
Yeah, he should
stayed
have been
around
moved
long
up
enough
there.
to say, okay, we should have dropped the belts and move after the loss.
He should have dropped the belts before the loss and just moved up.
The man wanted to get the fans excitement, and he had air in his
man.
lungs, man. He had a medical condition.
That's what I'm saying. I drop the belts and move up and wait till my condition, which call me
And
and
throw away a $3
like,
million paycheck? Hell no. Go out on your shield, dog. Hell no. Hell no. A $3 million? No, hell no, dog.
Yeah, he trying to say he probably got conditioned by letting the big mountain nigga hit him with the body shot.
The what now?
When he let the dude from Game of Thrones hit him with the body shot, the mountain nigga. He probably got their condition by doing that dumbass shit. Yeah,
So you try to tell me just because a big motherfucker punched him, that's not a boxing champion or a contender, he ran into a problem by allowing big motherfucker to lift weights to punch him. We all know just because you got all that weight and you can lift weights, that don't mean you got punching power, dog.
that don't mean you
Come
got
on,
punching
Batman.
power.
That is what I hold
know,
you to a standard to. I hold you to that standard right there, dog.
I know for a fact. I know for a fact it don't take a big motherfucker that much to knock a motherfucker out. He don't even have to know how to punch properly. I know that motherfucker fact.
But T.O. was standing there though. You get a big motherfucker, you know how to move. You can still catch him. It don't mean his chin is bulked up.
No, he wasn't. You ain't see the video?
Yeah, I seen it. He let him hit him.
Yeah, he let him hit him. What are you talking about? He ain't move.
I'm just saying. You ask me what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, just because he's big as shit don't mean he got punching power. This
No,
motherfucker
you don't have
huge.
that. Over 200 pounds, you don't have to have punching power. You don't even have to fucking hit that hard, dog. If a motherfucker, some of them niggas don't even know what they doing, they can knock you the fuck out. That's why. That's why. If you really look at life, that's why big niggas are scared to get into it with each other, dog. In real life, real big niggas are scared to get into it with each other. They are, because they know somebody's going to fuck to sleep.
Well, we talking about cardio, we talking about weight, we talking about
we talking
about speed, we talking about a lot of shit.
Yeah,
because a big motherfucker is good for 60 seconds in some cases, 30 seconds in most cases.
In life, when like arguments, little niggas argue and get it on. Big niggas, like I'm gonna put it like a jail, give you jail. In jail, big niggas don't like to get into it with each other because they know one of them is going to sleep and it's going to be you could just
dog, the biggest dog in the yard at lightweight division is Javonte right now, dog.
Nah, he was the most exciting until he ain't get the people what they want.
A knockout with a hurt hand, he was hitting that motherfucker with uppercuts forever and a day, dog.
No, he hurt his hand in the 6th round. But what I think is, I ain't look at all the fight. I went to sleep probably like the 4th, 5th round. With the way he came out, I think he was trying to let him survive before he put the work on him, but accidentally hurt his hand.
The boxing plug in the building. What's good? He said, "What's your thoughts on Comey versus Robert Easter fight? Do you think that fight is long forgotten? That was a really good fight. No one's really talking about, even with Robert Easter, when what I consider one of his more competitive fights and entertaining when he fought Javier Fortuna.
Yeah, I thought
You're talking about the same Robert Easter who fought Mikey Garcia, lost, and we looking at Mikey Garcia looking like an overcooked tater tot, and he still went in there and knocked down Robert Easter in the third round and took it to a decision. Robert Easter, his last performance, Ryan, I think his name was Ryan Martin or something like that.
Yeah.
He looked impressive. He fought very tall. He used his range well. It was an entertaining fight, but people don't know Martin. You know what I'm saying? Robert Easter is one of those guys that he has to build up his familiarity with the boxing fans some more. Like, nobody's talking about Robert Easter, dog. I like Bunny too. I like Bunny as a boxer. You know what I'm saying? I like how, his fighting style and shit, but it's just like Albert Bell. Albert Bell is going to have to build up. He fights tall. He's a boxer, but we'll see. The guy Eclipse in the building. OG, what a weekend, huh? Yeah, for sure, man. Shout out to Mike in the building. King Mitch on deck. Comeback, what up? That big dummy looked like he didn't even have his fist closed when he punches T.O. 1990 on deck. Loma went up to 135, collected 3 belts. Now all the belts jumping from one to another, and nobody wants to give Loma a chance. What do you mean they ain't giving him a chance?
He never gave nobody else a chance.
That's what I'm saying. What do you mean they ain't giving Loma a chance? They ain't giving Devin a chance. Loma, he had all the entitlements you can ask for in a benefits package. Loma came over here and they said, "Hey, Loma, before you go to professionally, guess what? We're going to allow you to have a professional championship fight in your second pro fight." And Orlando Salido had different motherfucking plans. He's had entitlements his whole career, dog.
Yeah, he lost the title. He was about to he fought for the WBO, lost. Got right back in the fight for the WBO for a vacant title with my brother. Val moved up. Got right to a title fight. Moved up again. Got right to a title fight. Come on, man. They not. I ain't even trying. I don't even really come on here to talk about my brothers, but Gary Russell can't even get the same treatment, man.
Yeah, man, that's unfortunate too, for real. What up, Mike? Mike, can you hear me? Hey, Mike, you there? I'll let him unmute himself whenever he feel like it. I couldn't hear him, but yeah, that's what I say about Javonte at the end of the day. I don't know what 1990 talking about. They never gave him a chance and all that. Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, man.
All right, cool, man. Man, what a weekend, man. What a weekend, man.
I mean, sorting through everything. What's your take on the Devin Haney fight and Davis fight?
Well, I'm not apologizing to Bill. Devin still didn't prove that he got power to really keep an elite fighter off him. Jojo wasn't the best Jojo. It was a damn good fight. Great win for Devin. But the questions are still on the table. Javonte Davis, great win, but you had a great challenger in front of you. And, I think, like I was saying on other shows after the fight, I really do believe that he is truly a Mayweather student now, because now he knows what Mayweather went through, them times where he had to fight with broke hands and had to just win, try to point it out, and everyone's mad at him because they expected him to just wash the guy. And some boxing fans don't understand that, no, Isaac Cruz ain't no hoe, and Isaac Cruz came to fight, and this is what you got.
Do you
It's
agree
funny.
with that Batman, or what?
I told you I went to sleep in the 4th round, but
But you didn't go to sleep during Devin Haney fight though.
oh nah, the Devin Haney fight. I
Nah,
mean,
Devin Haney fight. I watched them both. I watched them both in real time and rewatched them. You feel what I'm saying? Devin Haney, I mean, great win, but honestly, he really did win. He didn't make no new fans, in my opinion. Yeah, and all the
man,
naysayers, like I said, the questions that people they would call me a hater because I'd be like, "Oh, Devin soft as baby shit," or "He ain't got no power," and it's like, yeah, there were a couple times the way Devin was stinging that boy JoJo. You could tell he didn't really have. He has good pop. It's good, Chris, but that's not that. Oh shit! Let me stop everything I'm doing and rethink my game plan. Pop. You feel what I'm saying? That wasn't that pop that makes a fighter just say, "Oh shit, I can't keep doing this." Because JoJo was content doing that all night, just pressing forward. And honestly, if JoJo been a little busier, they might have been talking upset. The same thing with Isaac Cruz. There was a couple rounds where Tank was really hurt, and when he wasn't throwing that damn left hand, had Isaac Cruz, he didn't even have to connect because everybody's already saying that he won the fight just off aggression. But you get that when you get black finesse fighters fighting Mexicans who do that brawling style. That's been going on since the 80s. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised that everybody being like, "Oh man, Cruz won. Oh man, Tank ran all day." I get it. But I will say, had Cruz got a little bit busier, it would have been an upset.
like I was saying though,
I'm talking just a little busier, not much. He didn't have to do too much more, just a little bit more. And the only reason I say that is Tank is the champ. And to beat a man, you got to beat the man convincingly. You can't go to the cards and try to point out the champ. You feel what I'm saying? That just doesn't really happen unless there's some real fuckery going on. And so, yeah, great win.
Like Fundora fuckery, like the Fundora fuckery.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And the usual fuckery that we deal with boxing, that doesn't fly over. So I wasn't surprised that Tank still got the call. I was warning everybody was getting mad, talking about, man, the memes are coming. Everyone like, what you mean Tank won? I'm like, no. And as you see, most of these YouTube channels, their thumbnail is a picture. Like I said, they're going to find a picture of any time that Isaac Cruz landed a punch on Tank, and they're going to take that screenshot, and that's going to be the thumbnail. And sure enough, that's what I'm seeing. I even seen a couple pages. They got the times where Javonte tripped and everything, and they got a still shot making it look like Javonte got knocked down. Like the narrative is out there, and he's just got to be a thick skin and just continue and then take this and grow from it, just like Floyd had to do. And I honestly think that is why Floyd was being so defensive and so aggressive in the post-fight interview, is because he knows what's coming for Tank as far as all the criticism, and he's trying to protect his young fighter and not let none of that bullshit get to Tank's head.
man,
Because if Tank is a brittle spirit, these next couple weeks and couple days is gonna be rough on him.
He been protecting this guy since 130, man. Come on, man. He been protecting this guy. This guy haven't fought no real threat to his career.
Can you talk up a little bit, Batman? Can you talk up?
I said he been
Yeah, I can't hear him if he's talking.
Hello? You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but your tone is low.
How the fuck that just happened? Hello?
I can hear you, but you're talking low.
Oh, you say I'm talking low?
Yeah, your tone, the volume is low.
Hold on, let me go in.
Yeah, I can't even hear him at all, Scott.
Let me go in and come back out.
All right. Loma's still on the pound for pound list with 2 losses. He's privileged like a mother. That's what I'm saying, dog. Douglas 15 said Gary weak compared to Tank. It depends on what you're talking about. Gary have moved up past featherweight. I'm not sure what you mean about weak compared to Tank. I'm sure a lot of people would like to see Gary Russell either vacate the WBC or defend it with a more higher output when it comes to being in the ring, a higher in-round output as far as activity annually. That haven't been the case. Man, we all know why that is. You know what I'm saying? We all know why that is.
Yeah.
People blocking them, and then he say,
I just think I'm glad that them 2 brothers was able to walk away from this weekend with W's, and they didn't go full Tio on us. They didn't go Tio on us, but that anybody like hell, you seen they got that damn Ryan Garcia stopped selling pussy on the gram, and he's actually trying to act like a boxer now because he thinks he can do something. And honestly, if Tank doesn't get the Cambosis fight, which I don't think he will, because like I said, if I was George Cambosis, I'd want Devin Haney. I'd want Devin Haney. That, you know what I'm saying? That looks like a safer fight. Plus, Devin Haney's already expressed that he will go to Australia. And so right now, Cambosis should be either looking at the winner of Comey, Lomachenko, or Devin Haney, which means that Tank might have no choice but to rematch that boy if he wants a real good fight. And because of how last night's fight went, that's a good bet because I mean it's still a high risk, low reward for Tank, but he knows he will get a payday because people will pay for that rematch. This has all the markings of Maidana and Floyd and Maidana, Floyd and Castillo, Floyd and Marquez, where just because the guy was able to get his effective aggression off in the ring, there will be people who say that he won, and they will pay to see it. And I am pretty confident that if Javonte's hands are healthy when he fights Cruz again, he ain't going to play with Cruz. He ain't going to go in there trying to slug it out with him. He's going to realize that slugging out with Cruz is what kept Cruz in the fight. He just needs to box him and dominate him. And for all the shit that I've been talking since last night, let me also say congratulations to Tank because he did fight a game fighter for over 6 rounds with a broke hand. And, so you got to give it to him. He fought this pit bull with one hand. And so, it's just it's fucked up, though, because even though he might not want this rematch, he might have to do it.
I don't know about that. I don't know if he's going to have to get that rematch. But let me get this super chat. Pete Davenport in the building. What's good, my brother? On deck. Peace world. I believe Devin versus Jojo was more impressive than Tank versus Isak. Also, Devin wasn't in no real trouble versus Jojo. I mean, you got to look at the danger zone. Isak presented much of a danger zone for Tank to be in. Both of them fighters had that danger zone effect to them. They both, the pit bull aggression and Tank being who he is as a power puncher. But that, I totally get where you're coming from with that, But when it come down to it, for me, I just look at Jojo Diaz, who it was people assuming that he can hurt Devin, but you know what I'm saying? We didn't have what's that word? Like, we didn't have that anxiety in that fight. It was just starting to play out like we thought. We was like, okay, all right. Okay. We didn't have that anxiety like we had with Isak Cruz and Javonte. We knew somebody was getting dropped.
Yeah, but
I knew that. I did think that of the 2 times that Cruz did slip, I think one of them should have been.
Hey, hold on for a second, Mike. Hey, hold on for a second, Mike. Hey, go ahead, Batman.
Nah, you can hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear him, Mike? I don't think Mike can hear you, but I can.
I can hear both of y'all.
Nah, I can't hear him at all.
Man, that's crazy. Nah, what I was saying is, even in that fight, even in the Devin fight, they came out talking like they was gonna stop this kid, but he never put his hands up and try to go stop him. I mean, this the shit I get from them because when they working in the gym, oh yeah, Devin punching harder now. Yeah, Devin doing this, he's gonna knock him out, he's gonna stop him, but you don't even get that effect off in your fights.
I don't know what it is, man, but I just wish overall the crowd, the fan base, the boxing fan base would give him credit like that. I mean, I'll tell you, mitts look way different than in the ring. For real, some people don't even do mitts. Shout out to Pete Davenport again for the super chat, my brother. I appreciate you. One love to you. I'm also taking Haney over Tank if they fight. Interesting. Interesting with that. Interesting. I don't know if anybody else on the panel would have that. I don't know. Because with Tank, if you don't have enough power to slow him, see what Isak Cruz had, he had that possibility of an equalizer. You know what I'm saying? That's what Isaac Cruz had. And obviously Tank felt it. He was fighting careful. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Showtime?
Hey, what's going on? Peace to World Combat Sport and the panel and the chat. I just want to just say one thing in regards to the Devin Haney Jojo Diaz fight. Devin Haney, excellent boxing ability, but you can't be blessed with everything. He doesn't have the power. He's like a pillow puncher. But skill wise, ability, he's there. He's there. I would love to see him get the Cambosis fight, like you were speaking on earlier. But if it don't present itself, maybe it is time to move on. And I want to just add this too about Tank. I get on Tank's heels a lot, but I got to give him his credit. He fought with a broken hand after the 6th round. His power hand. He showed a lot of heart. He showed a lot of courage. So I can't take nothing away from him on that. And I feel like the Cambosa fight for Cambosa and Tank Davis is a bigger fight for him because, like you were saying earlier, Tank Davis is selling out arenas all across the state, from Brooklyn to Baltimore to Atlanta to Texas to LA. And at the end of the day, this is the business of professional prize fighting, and you got to go where the dollars is at. That's all I wanted to add. I just wanted to come in and just say peace to the chat, peace to Batman, peace to yourself. Keep doing your thing, World Combat.
Same to you, Showtime. Appreciate you for pulling up. And y'all
Man,
be sure
thanks,
to
Showtime.
y'all be sure to check out my man Showtime over there in the NYC streets, man, getting that media blitz going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Doing his thing.
And I'm gonna see you Thursday, man. I don't know if you know, but the Davis brothers arrived today, and Big Baby came in last night. Jared Anderson.
Drop your shit. That's what I'm talking about. On site info. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, dog.
But I see
Appreciate
you. Yeah, definitely. I'll see you Thursday. We gotta do that round table, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, man, we will definitely have to make that round table numero dos. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to make it interesting. I'm trying to get a surprise. If I can make it work, I'm trying to get a heavy hit up in that Showtime. I'll talk about it offline, bro.
All right, definitely. And safe travels to you, the whole team 150. Michael Williams Jr., Michael Williams Sr. Can't wait to see you guys, man. Peace and love and blessings, guys.
I appreciate you that Showtime for pulling up, bro. And shout out to Team Williams. Real talk. We got one this weekend. We about to step in there with. And shout out to Jahad Tucker over there. Who is Jahad Tucker, man? Follow him on IG and everything. 5-0 right now, undefeated. But let me get to Pete Davenport. Appreciate the donations, my brother. Appreciate you pulling up. He say, I'm also taking Haney over Tank if they fight. King Miss say, I'll take Tank over Haney as well. I think I don't know if you're responding to Pete Davenport's, but he said he had Haney over Tank. You say you got Tank over Haney. Two different scenarios. He said, man, Richard Comey ain't shit. He's a C+ fighter. Nothing special about him. Average hand speed, poor defense, okay power, throws very wide shots, gets countered easily, will make Loma look exceptional. Well, if you're talking about boxing skills and movement, shit, Jackson Marinez had that, and he stopped him. He just didn't have the power to be effective. Lomachenko might have possessed a little bit more power than Jackson Marinez, you know what I'm saying? And he's a better boxer. We'll see how Comey handles that shit, man.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna be spectacular like T.O. beat him.
So you think is it's not a possibility for Loma to stop him in a second?
Nah. Loma gonna beat him up. If the case is Loma gonna beat him up, but he's not gonna stop him in the second round. He don't possess that type of power.
I mean, that goes back to what happened with T.O. T.O. went the distance. A lot of people feel that T.O. has more power than Loma, but Loma went in there and stopped freaking Masayoshi Nakatani.
Yeah, because he put it together. T.O. don't put shit together for real. T.O. is an aggressive fighter, athletic fighter. He can get he's accessible to getting hit more because his defense ain't ain't up to par like it should be. But he got that. He got that. He got that. He got that chance where as though if he catch you right, your ass gone. The only fight I saw him going there with a strategy is to Lomachenko.
I think the way he fights, man, is entertaining when he's 100%. I think it's very entertaining. I think he wasn't 100% that night. Like some fighters, they have that. Just like Javonte hurt his hand in the sixth, he wasn't 100% to finish the second half of the fight. It happens. We just can't disallow that the medical information that came out post fight. We
Yeah,
just can't
bro.
say that's bullshit. He is
I
set.
mean,
He lost.
yeah, he
He
lost, but he can bring it up, but you win in there, you lost. I mean, you had an alright performance. You got the knockdown in the in the 10th round. You looked at average, so you know what I'm saying. I mean, it looked like y'all didn't put no plan together. Y'all was going out there to be an athlete, to athletically beat Cambosis, and he wasn't going like that.
Mitch say something must have been wrong with my guy Sebastian, the Towering Inferno Famella Fundora. He had absolutely nothing on his punches. He usually have some serious pop. He did show some better boxing though.
Um,
Fundora, you had one judge score the draw and the other one had it by a pretty wide margin. Did you watch that fight, man? Because it was for the main
yeah,
event.
the big tall boy. It was a.
Do you think he won that fight or not?
I thought he edged it out, but he ain't blow him out. If it would have been a
I
draw,
think that's his second gifted decision. I think Javonte Clark beat him. Seriously, I mean they're holding on to Sebastian Fundora for dear life and giving this guy decisions like this. Javonte Clark from Ohio, I thought he beat him, and I thought Sergio Garcia, man, did enough to beat him.
yeah, but I mean, I think he edged it out for being the WitchCon, but if it was a draw last night, I wouldn't have been mad. But
Oh yeah, we wouldn't have been mad.
yeah, but Fandor, he go fuck with a big boy at 154. He getting stopped.
Yeah, I mean it's according to who that big boy is, though. Will it ever be Mel
Charlo,
Hello? Yeah,
Jamel stops him. Who
what
else?
about Lubin?
Lubin stops him.
They trying to talk about Erickson Lubin potentially with Fundora.
Lubin stops him, but if he got enough pop, Lubin ain't got no chance. Who else?
What about Charles
Well,
Conwell coming up through the pipe?
Charles Conwell.
Yeah, bad news. The one who fought Patrick Day. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Bad news.
I know who you
He's at
talking about.
154 too.
I know who you talking about. He
He's
probably
dangerous, bro.
he dangerous. He got enough power. He probably fuck him up. Even what's the boy name? The Spencer boy.
The who?
What's his name? Joey Spencer.
Oh hell no! Joy Spencer gets stopped by Fundora, bro.
Not by Fandor. Fandor too weak. I seen it yesterday. If the Mexican would have been pushing a little bit and getting that little bit of space and chopping the body a little bit more, he probably would have stopped Fandor. Fandor in some of them cases and some of them exchanges, Fandor looked like he was about to go.
I got to get this big super chat in the building once again. Pete Davenport hour on deck, man. Appreciate you always supporting the channel, my brother. Appreciate the donation. One love to you. He said, this is for the support. I always admire my big bro for giving us the time to chat like it's 1,000 people. You do this channel because your passion and God will bless you. I appreciate you, Davenport. Good, you know that. I appreciate you for identifying that. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the super chat once again, my brother. One love to you. My bad. I went Fundora. I thought he won the fight though. That Spaniard Garcia did all right. Yeah, man. If you look back in his fight, it's a guy named Danny Danny something, a short guy, had like a 71-inch reach. He gave Fundora the business and bruised him up real nice. So, you know, you have Tim Zoo at 154. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
Tim
I don't.
Zoo. I think Tim Zoo walked on too.
Yeah, you got Tim Zoo. I don't want to mention Jared Hurd or freaking Julian Williams. They've been looking. You know, I don't know. They might get the Nathaniel Gallimore business. You know, at the end of the day, they might get stopped. I don't know.
Jared Hurd need to go back to his style and just go back to his original style and try to work the defense from there. High guard catching punches.
Once again, big shout out to Pete Davenport in the building with them super chats. Appreciate you, big dog. Sir Ken say not only did Tank hurt his hand, he came into the fight with a hurt leg. Once Cruz found that out, he kept trying to trip Tank. Tank made it through the storm, move on. And you know what? Good point there, Sir Ken, because if you look at when Javonte fell one time, his left leg was extended out. If I'm not mistaken, his left leg was extended out and he kind of hopped on his right leg so he wouldn't bend that left leg when he tripped over Isaac Cruz. You know, so hey, these fighters coming here with injuries, dog.
He said I should have let his hands go a little bit more.
He couldn't keep that pace though, in my opinion, there, Batman. Like, it's tough to keep a pace. Like when you taking punishment, okay, we know that he was taking the shots pretty well from the poker face. But how did it affect him internally though? You know what I'm saying? Like even Jojo Diaz slowed down with Devin Haney. He couldn't hold the pace.
Yeah, Jojo ain't started off right to me though.
You think he should have started off different?
Yeah.
I mean, what way? Much more aggressive or what?
Much more aggressive. Walking down.
Yeah, man. I don't know what Jojo was thinking about. I think he was trying to save it for the back end.
He was trying to save it for the back end like he did my brother. But he supposed to start it off differently. Motherfucking walk him down. At least through 50 punches every round. At least 50 punches with aggression. You know what I'm saying? Kept walking. Pushed the jab out the way. A little bit more head movement for Danny. For Devin couldn't really push his jab out or just stiffen his hand out to hold him to hit him with the body shot. Right there, it was a lot of shit in that joint. That's why I say he need a new trainer. His father got him where he can get him at. You know, because Jojo Diaz, you know, Diaz father learned off YouTube and shit. YouTube, going to other gyms, learning different shit, and taught it to his son.
Hey, so we have fighters. We have fighters that start off late and still make it. B Hop started off late.
Yeah, B Hop started off late, but not with his amateur career. He was an amateur, got locked up. You know, went to jail. Still was training. Came home and made it happen.
I want to ask about Ammo Williams, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like the Ammo Williams fight with Octavius Cash, man. Do you think there was an early stoppage?
I ain't see it.
Man, some people say it wasn't, you know, he was getting his ass beat, but I'm like, damn, the dude was trying to get up, ref. You're holding him from getting up, dog. You're stopping and you're preventing him from standing up. That's bullshit, man.
I think
that's bullshit.
But a lot of stoppages on the zone the other day was bullshit. The Montana Love stoppage, the woman stoppage, when the woman they stopped it right there with the woman joint, that shit was bullshit. It was a
Jessica McCaskill.
Yeah, that fight could have kept going. That was a bullshit stop.
I thought Montana Love's opponent, he was bound to get stopped.
Yeah, he was bound to get stopped, but that was a bullshit stop. He was still fighting.
Yeah. It seemed like if you fight on the zone, shit, they be on the time limit. They be trying to get down to the nitty gritty, so they gonna stop some fights in between, dog.
In between. Because
I'm
hey
serious.
dog,
They gonna make up that time.
if a motherfucker don't stop that, if y'all see, this is what I would be saying about some of these refs. If you don't stop that shit with Tyson Fury, why would any? Come on, man, stop this shit, man. When Deontay Wilder first fight with Tyson Fury, that's not a stop. I don't know what the fuck it is, man.
Yep. Mitch say J-Rock, Hurd, and Harrison all been looking bad. Harrison trying to go to Australia for a Tim Tszyu fight. I don't know why I mean,
Harrison ain't got no champ, man. And then if he get a little bit more bend in his legs, catching his punches more better instead of standing straight up, giving somebody a straight up target, he probably would have never got hurt in that fucking Jamel Charlo fight.
the second one, you mean?
Yeah, the second one.
The second one, he just lost focus for whatever reason that was, man.
Yeah, but when he tried his strange hooks, you standing tall.
Yeah.
You standing tall, so you giving a good angle on your chin. If you was gonna catch, you supposed to bend a little bit to catch on your glove and turn your hook. But you standing tall, whereas though you gave him your whole chin. And you ain't gonna have no leverage on that hook standing that tall. But it is what it is.
Bruce goes on deck. How you feeling there, Bruce? What's good
Hey
with you, my
Bruce,
brother?
what's up, OG?
Appreciate you pulling up, my dog. King Mitch Tank slipped and didn't want to bend his right leg. So it was his right leg. I know it was one of them. It looked unusual, but I didn't think much of it at the time. I did, because that's the first time I ever seen him hop. He hopped at least about 3 times, man, with one leg bent and the other one extended.
But
So
if I was Tank, I would never did all that running in the beginning. I'd have seen with Esau Cruz. Hey, if I was in this corner, I'd have been like, look, man, we gonna box and bang a little bit. We gonna see which one we can start testing this boy. And I'd have told him, look, we not going with no over top shit. We taking all under shit. Cause the way he do his defense, you ain't gonna do nothing but hit the top of his head.
yeah, he didn't really dig to the body like I thought he would. He landed some body shots, but it's almost like with the injury, I don't know. It was some respect going on there. I don't know if it was because he had injuries or the fact that Cruz was countering him very well yesterday. He was able to get off some shots.
Yeah,
So I
but
don't know what the power was like, because nobody asked him. Nobody has
but listen,
asked Javonte about the power.
I'm gonna tell him to look, man. We gonna stay tight, and we gonna shoot everything short and sharp. Nothing wide, cause this boy punch wide. So if we break him down, we're gonna catch him eventually, cause he punched real wide. But sometimes, man, it be the coaching, man. I mean, some coaches don't be in detail like that. Cause I wouldn't
I
have
know it
had
would have been.
huh?
I know it would have been good to know, what Tank assessment was of Cruz's power per se, because his last 2 fights were unanimous decisions, and then this one is a unanimous decision loss. But then you look at who he was in there with. He was in there with considerably one of the heaviest punchers in the sport, outside Deontay Wilder. So, I mean, I would like to know what he felt like as far as his power. If he get on here, awesome. It was okay. It wasn't that special. Then we know he bullshitting.
Yeah. Man, it couldn't have been, because he said in the rematch he'll knock him out.
Who said that?
Tank at the press conference.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch the presser afterwards. Okay. Yeah, when he come in there healthy and shit like that, yeah, I think he'll do way better than on the back end of the fight than he did. But hey, every fight can't land in a knockout. We can't see knockouts all the time, but it's good to have that expectation going into that because it puts the fans on edge. We looking for some shit. If you ain't looking for shit in the boxing match, you up there eating popcorn, you on your phone, you just doing other shit.
Yeah, you just know other shit.
You going to sleep like Batman did.
Yeah, I'm tired. I had to get up and get these kids ready for school. I mean,
I feel you, man. Real talk. That's grown man shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Let me see. Tank wasn't as mobile as he wanted to be, just like brother wasn't Batman, but he got the win. Wanted to be just like your brother wasn't. I think you're talking about Antonio.
You calling my Antonio?
Ben say Batman do Gary fight in February.
I think he fighting on January 15th.
Okay. Who let me see.
Supposed to be Mark Mag. Well, I can't even pronounce that motherfucker's last name, man. Mag Sawyer. And
Is
that's
he
how you
like a
say it?
mandatory or something?
Huh?
Is he like a mandatory or something?
Nah, he ain't no mandatory. I mean, they think with the hype. I think they think with the hype he can beat him. I don't know. The one that fought on Pacquiao. The one fought on
Oh,
Pacquiao.
number yard. No. That's his old phone. They haven't posted it yet. Okay. He already beat number yard. Okay.
Nah, they ain't posted yet. It supposed to be on the 15th. That's what the
Okay.
information I was getting. He in the
I
gym
got you.
training now.
Okay. I got you. I got you. Damn. Well, shoot. Man, any final words there, Batman? I'm about to bounce up out this camp, man.
Man, great coming on with you guys, man. I just came on because I was trying to just stress my opinion with you with what you was talking about. But like I said, I put Tio at 4-3 right now. Since he lost, he don't go no far because they ain't shoot Lomachenko farther down. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're talking about with Lomachenko, but Lomachenko is not talking about campaigning outside of lightweight. The only time he mentioned that, he said 130, and he ain't
Yeah,
really
he was
been
gonna
down
go
to
back down.
130.
No, he
Yeah,
said
he
he was
ain't
gonna
really
go
been
back
down to
down
130.
because Tank was down there. But Tank up here now, and ain't no use in him going back down.
Man, he could fight Tank at 35. Shit.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. Remember Tank was at 30, but it ain't no use of going down there now. Tank up here, so
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you.
Floyd said they was gonna age him out, so he aged out now. So let's get the fight. Him. I mean, if y'all remember that when Floyd was like he getting older, Tank young, so you already aged him out, so you might as well go ahead and get the fight on.
And Tank said he in a rush. He said Lomachenko in a rush because he old.
Yeah, come on, man. That's the games they playing. They don't really want to see no real fighter. That's in my opinion.
I mean, Tank only 27 years old. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
27. When you gonna give him a real fight when he turned 30?
Hey, man,
He been the
just
champion
look at
since
it.
he was
Like,
21. When you win the belt, dog, the fucking training wheels go off, dog. It did with Mayweather.
look, when Adrian Brawler picked up his fourth division Batman, he fought a dude like named the Mega Medov. I don't know his first name, I forgot, but he fought a dude back at 140 named the Mega Medov. Who knows who that guy was? I mean, look, Adrian was able to pick up his divisions early, man, and now on the back end of it, he's just trying to find a fight. Hopefully, Javonte don't end up in the same position.
He said, "What, Scott?"
No, I was saying that
Fucking hate.
Adrian Broner, man, when he picked up his title at welterweight, he dropped back down to 140 and fought some dude called Megomedov. And
Yeah,
nobody
I mean,
really knows who he is to this day, but he picked up a
'cause
fourth championship.
Adrian Broner did some dickhead shit. Nigga, you start rapping, going on tours, not fucking training right. It was a lot of other shit and what on his downfall though. It wasn't just because the way they moved him and he went in tough fights early. Nah, he took this shit as a joke. You take it serious all your life. This is what I talk about all athletes. You take it serious all your life, but when you get there, you start trying to have fun, and you ain't fucking really do nothing yet. You ain't solidify yourself yet to have fun. So you know what I'm
I
saying?
agree, but he is a 4-weight champion, though.
Yeah, he is, but he still ain't accomplished. He still ain't accomplished what the fuck he was supposed to accomplish. You start fucking look how he came in there. He had to fight with McDonald. He had a fucking gut. So I'm on tour.
Yeah, he was trying to be a hip hop artist in between time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Drinking and shit.
I'm on tour. I'm about to, that's when Floyd was about to fight Canelo. But you sitting there doing that bullshit. See, Floyd show you that nigga. I might play this role when the cameras come on, but when the cameras off, I am working my ass off.
Yeah. True.
Yeah,
Well, you never
so,
see Floyd fucked up. You never saw Floyd out there. Like when I drove out to Baltimore to see him to see Tank fight Adrian Broner, I still have a video. He was in a sleeveless ski jacket, no shirt on, and he had a gut on him. You know what I'm saying?
that's the joint when he was with Floyd. Remember he in the joint with Floyd. They talking about Canelo, and he was supposed to fight Madonna. He got a gut on him, and come on, man, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was crazy, but he was walking around like he didn't give a fuck. Like
Cause he thought
Adrian
it
was
came
walking
up.
around that motherfucker with a name like he had with no shirt on and a gut. He did not give a damn. And look, the
Cause he thought he was
women
on
were
top of the
still giving him
world.
attention. Huh?
He thought he was on top of the world.
Yeah.
When even with Teofimo Lopez, I don't care about the injuries. When he beat Whichcomb, he lost focus. He thought he was on top of the world, but wasn't putting in the work. Dog, you fake.
You didn't think T.O. was putting in the work? I think he was, dog.
I don't think he was, because when you caught COVID, you on a fucking the next picture they show you on a fucking yacht, on the yacht, jumping off the yacht in the water. Come on, man.
COVID don't have
Dog, you be sick. I mean, you
salt
ain't supposed to
water wash
be,
away COVID.
man.
Salt water wash away COVID.
But you partying, you supposed to be fucking training. Bad,
Yeah.
then all right. You cut off the training. The next time we see you, you're in a hookah bar.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off. I was like, what is going on with this shit right here?
Yeah, you're in a hookah bar. Then when the next time you be with, you get close to Cambosis, Cambosis told you, nigga, I heard what you doing. You out there drinking. You bullshit. You overlooking me. That's exactly what happened. So I know these fighters, they be knowing what's going on with each other.
I mean, that's not difficult. I mean, media, according to who you know, you can find out what's going on with fighters.
Yeah. So the boy thought he was on top of the world instead of doing what you was doing before you got there, working your ass off.
Sir Ken in the building. Well, if Tank has it his way, he's trying to fight in Chicago once it warms up next year. Okay. All right.
Man, I hope he fighting.
I wonder
Go
what's
ahead.
his I just wonder what's his reasoning for wanting to fight in Chicago.
I mean, he probably the rappers. He good with some of the rappers there.
It's just one of those areas you don't see a lot of big fights. That's all.
Yeah, but you know that's one of the areas they might come all the way out. They might fill that for him.
Shit, they'll come out all the way out down in the A. Shit, don't abandon us. Shit, I mean, don't abandon. I understand you want to go to the West Coast, soak up that money, but Chicago, I think Chicago, when it comes to boxing entertainment and everything, I don't find it as a footprint that's thriving. I think they less than what we had down here in ATL in 2019.
You say they less?
Yeah, I think they're less than what we had 2019. Man, you couldn't. It wasn't no boxing down here except Tank came in December. It wasn't really popping down here for real. Like Tank brought that 2019 Gamboa fight down here, and people was like, "Oh shit, let's go to this."
Yeah, I mean, you need to take it to DC, man. Bring it to DC, man. Baltimore, man. Motherfucker.
Yeah. I don't know why he ain't. I mean, I know Baltimore next door, but damn.
No, I'm just saying, if fucking him and my brother fight here, it's gonna be mega. Everybody gonna come out. But they scared of shit over there, man. I know Mayweather is. I can see how he talking in interviews. Man, we ain't taking no punishment. We ain't. What you mean? If you fight a great fighter, you gonna be in a fight. What the fuck?
Yeah. True. We all know how Floyd working it. That's his cash cow. He want to keep him undefeated and keep on making that PPV money as much as he can. Sir Ken he said first he has a fan base there and he wants to give the city some shine, was a statement he made. All right, damn, he want to go over to Chicago and give him that shine. I mean, I feel you.
Yeah,
ATL, your second home though.
He got a good couple of men out there though. Couple of rap niggas. He gonna do the same thing he did in Atlanta. He got a couple of good rap niggas. Motherfucking once he go out there, they start promoting the fight. They gonna come out, so other fans gonna come out.
I'm just curious to know who's exactly coming up. They better have security out that motherfucker too. Shit.
Yeah,
that's
but them niggas don't bring that drama. They better have it downtown somewhere. They don't bring that drama like that downtown.
Yeah. But hey, I appreciate you pulling up, Batman. I'm about to bounce, man. I got some things to take care of. Appreciate you pulling up there. Be safe out there, man. Salute to you and your family, bro.
You too, Scatter.
And for everybody who tuned in the live chat, man, appreciate you stopping through and supporting WCS, supporting the boxing media. This ain't over. I might try to jump on earlier, but I got to start preparing for this fight week. Shout out to the ones who grinding out there in the workforce. Like I told you, the Omicron variant is out, man. I hope y'all don't be a part of that. I hope myself isn't a part of that shit. But yeah, peace to you too, Bruce Gold. Salute to you, my brother. Ben, Sir Ken in the building, King Mitch. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Pete Davenport for the donations. Appreciate you. Andrew Charles for dropping through. 1990 pulled up. Got Eclipse was on deck. The boxing plug. Batman stopped through. Douglas 15. Showtime. Shaw Media News. Be sure to check him out, man. On the replay. Subscribe to his channel. The Boxing King Archives, Ben Israel, Pac-Man Tay Jones is in the building, Mark Casey. Appreciate everyone who pulled up and dropped your comments, man. Until next time, turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports.